HD1 and HD2 Kansas on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer. And baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. We have a lot to get into in today's show. We are going to begin talking with the Kansas City Royals. The Royals are one of the hottest teams in baseball. They have won 5 consecutive games. If they win one more game in this series against the Guardians, they will take at least 3 out of 4 in that. And the way they're playing, they have a chance to sweep this series as well. This was a team that was 8 and 17 back on April 22nd. Fast forward, and a day after Cinco de Mayo, this team now sits at 17 and 19, just 2 games under 500 and a half game out of first place in the American League Central. We'll talk a little bit of Royals baseball in today's show. JC Pearson is going to join us on the show coming up at the 3 o'clock hour. The Chiefs have made a lot of major changes to their secondary. We are going to get his thoughts on that. There continues to be news and rumblings around Patrick Mahomes and when he could potentially get back on the field. We'll talk about that in today's show as well. And you might need to sit down for this. Joel Embiid is hurt and will not be able to participate in tonight's game. That's usually how it goes with Philadelphia's center. Before we dive into our opening topic, I want to remind you guys of a couple of things. Number one, as you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number 2, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number 3, and most importantly, I need you to remember that the open of the show each and every day is brought to you by our dear friends over at The Other Place. If you're looking for a daily lunch special with 12 lunch items that cost less than $10, I'm talking about a burger, a pasta, a salad, a sandwich. Maybe you want a soup and a salad, all those combinations. They have 12 different ones. Under $10. You can get that every weekday, Monday through Friday, starting at 11 o'clock and ending at 3 o'clock. So you still got a little bit of time. If you're hungry for lunch, go stop by and see our friends over at The Other Place. You know, I want to start today's show a little bit different than how we usually would start it. And I want to start today's show with paying respects to the late, great, the legendary Ted Turner, who passed away earlier today. And when Rob and I were thinking about how we wanted to begin the show, I do want to talk about the Royals, but I would say that it is not very often that when someone passes, it is safe to say that this person has affected everybody's life. There are some individuals that whether you're a big Braves fan, maybe you've never been to Atlanta, Ted Turner also had an effect on your life as well. And there are very few people that I think you can say that about. So for about 30 minutes earlier today, I was just reading about Ted Turner because I was genuinely interested in his life and all of his contributions. Let's just go through some of them. The creation of 24/7 News with CNN, TBS, and TNT. We'll get to the sports aspect of this in a bit, but the Braves are not the Braves today without essentially having a channel of their own in the 90s. And when the Braves are the second best team in baseball during that stretch behind the New York Yankees, the reason we love Chipper Jones, the reason we remember Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux and John Smoltz, a lot of that was the vision of Ted Turner and understanding the power of live sports. This might be something that a lot of people don't know. The effect that he had on modern film. I was reading a story earlier today about the Turner Classic Movie Channel. And if you remember that channel, they really made their bones in 24/7 just showing great classic movies. And this is when movies are starting to make the transition from standard film and starting to go digital. And Ted Turner saw the vision and wanted to preserve and restore those old films so you could watch them in their true form. So in that time period, before we get to DVDs, before we get to Netflix, if you wanted to watch an old movie, one of the best places to go to watch that movie was back on the Turner Classic Movie Channel. If you are a wrestling fan, we don't have to go into all the ways that he affected pro wrestling with the creation of WCW, giving it a platform on Monday night and going head-to-head against WWE. Maybe you were a big cartoon fan as a kid, Cartoon Network, and having a channel for 24/7 cartoons. Rob, I don't know if you went through a Cartoon Network phase. I feel like we all did at one point. Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, the Powderpuff Girls, Adult Swim, all of those came out of the Cartoon Network family. NBA on TV, TNT. There's just so many things that I think you can pinpoint back to Ted Turner, his vision, his creativity. So I wanted to start today's show by just paying our respects to the legend. TNT, TBS, CNN, Cartoon Network, Turner Classic Movies, the explosion of live sports. A lot of those you can pinpoint back to Ted Turner. So he passed away earlier today at 87 years old. I wanted to pay our respects to the late great, pay our respects to the legend, Ted Turner. Rob, let's talk about the Royals here for a bit, and we'll talk more about the Royals as the show continues to progress. You want to know where I give the Royals the most amount of credit? I give the Royals a lot of credit for picking themselves back up. Because we have seen a lot of Royals teams in our life have a losing streak like the Royals had a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it was a dark stretch. From April 12th all the way through April 22nd, the Royals won one game during that stretch. If you want to go back even further, from April 7th until April 22nd, the Royals won 3 games during that stretch. I mean, it was not like a small, they got swept on a weekend series. I'm talking about for basically 2 weeks. The Royals were one of the 3 worst teams in Major League Baseball. And then, Rob, the Royals just instantly got up and just said, we don't want to do this anymore. And since that stretch, the Royals started the year 8-17. The Royals now sit here at 17-19. They're 2 games under 500. The offense has made a radical shift. The bullpen is much better than it's been. And this is a team right now that is just a half game back of first place in their division. And as we've been talking about as the week has progressed, you still have 2 games left in this series against Cleveland. That's a team that's slightly ahead of you. You have 3 games this weekend against Detroit. That's another team that's slightly ahead of you. And a team that is now going to be wounded because their best pitcher is out with an injury and is going to be out for the next couple of weeks or so. So this is a team that was down and out a couple of weeks ago, didn't give up, didn't roll over, and really fought to get themselves back into it and really fought to make this season meaningful in a lot of ways. So I give the Royals a lot of credit. We have seen a lot of Royals teams that when they have that kind of start, when they start 8-17 and everybody is piling on them, that's usually when the Royals, in my lifetime, usually give up. And the Royals play dead, so to speak, and we all just collectively move on from the Royals and we find something else to fill our time until football. You got to give the Royals as an organization a lot of credit for not letting that happen and doing what they needed to do to get back into it, to give themselves a chance to be at 500 by Memorial Day, potentially be above 500, have a chance to be leading their division and in control the way it would appear that the Royals are in control. The offense is turned around. The bullpen is turned around. Jack Caglione is playing a lot better. I'll be really interested to see this weekend, if the weather holds up, what the attendance looks like. This is not me throwing shade on anybody or any dirt. We know that the Royals do not usually have great attendance during the week. It's also been a little cold. It's also been a little bit rainy. They got 16,000 people on Monday night. They got 13,000 people out there yesterday. The weather was not ideal. Coming up this weekend, the Royals have a 4-game series against Detroit. All of those games are in the evening. You got a 6:40 first pitch on Friday. You got a 6:10 first pitch on Saturday. And you got a special night game that is going to be on Peacock coming up on Sunday night. Usually, that's a different kind of Royals game. They usually are not playing games on a Sunday evening under the lights. I think we could be talking about them getting 20 to 25,000 people out there this weekend with the way they've been playing, with the weather starting to turn a little bit. If the weather holds up, I do think Kansas City is going to go out there and support this team. I think that Royals fans want to embrace this team, want to embrace Bobby Witt, want to embrace Vinny, want to embrace Jack Caglione. They simply needed a reason to go out to the park, and the Royals are definitely giving you reasons to go out there. I just made my plans. I want to go to Sunday night's game. They just don't have a lot of games under the lights on a weekend, so I'm excited to go out there this weekend and watch them go up against the Detroit Tigers. We'll see what happens. Noah Cameron right now is scheduled to start, but he's dealing with some injuries, so we'll see if he is going to make the probable start on Sunday. All right, Rob, you know the drill. Before we talk about Patrick Mahomes and all of the news swirling around the Chiefs quarterback, you know what we got to do.
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals.
By the way, first and foremost, is it fair to say the official stance of this show is the song's not changing? We're sticking with the song.
I never planned on changing the song.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
There was never a time where I was like, I'm tired of hearing this song. In fact, I don't think we hear this song enough. We should play this song a lot more than we actually do.
Well, maybe if the Royals went, 106 and 56, we'd have it more often. All right, King, today's Random Royals lineup takes us back to the year 2005, where on this date, the Royals struggled to win by taking a loss in Baltimore 3-1. Here is your Random Royals lineup. Leading off, the center fielder, David DeJesus.
Rob legend. Not a Royals legend. He's a Rob legend.
Then it falls off. Batting second, the second baseman, Ruben Gotay.
This is not a good baseball team. This is not a good baseball team in any way.
Batting third, the designated hitter, Mike Sweeney. Batting fourth, in right field, Matt Stairs. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Ken Harvey.
Legend. Shout out to Royals legend.
Batting sixth, the left fielder, Terrence Long. Batting seventh, the former Rookie of the Year, the shortstop, Angel Baroa. Batting eighth, and at third base, Mark Teahan. And batting ninth, the catcher, John Buck.
That is a bad lineup. It's a really bad lineup.
The Royals got mowed down by Sidney Ponson, who went 8 innings, giving up 1 run. Sidney Ponson dropped his ERA to 5.5 by mowing down some 05 Royals.
This is not good. I don't know what else the way to say it. It's not good. Not good at all. Coming up on the other side, we'll get the latest on the Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, from Ian Rappaport of NFL Network / ESPN. I don't know where he works anymore. He works for a lot of different people. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circus Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circus Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circus Sports app or visit circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Harris, Kansas City is giving away $150,000 in prizes this mid-year's Eve. Saturday, June 6th. One lucky guest will walk away with $50,000 in cold hard cash at midnight. And leading up to the big finale, we are calling names to win $2,500 in free play every 15 minutes. The best part? You can earn entries all throughout May and June. Don't miss the hottest celebration of the summer. Only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest Heating, Cooling and Plumbing.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come see us in store. Shane Company engagement rings are crafted with care from our hands to yours. Because a friend wants your ring to be nothing short of perfect. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcast.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes. Now, yesterday I made the point that if you look at the NFL as a television show and not necessarily a sport, things start to make a lot more sense. Now, I'm not telling you it's staged. I'm not telling you it's scripted, but we all follow the NFL. There's clear storylines. There's character arcs to it. It's a television show. One of the main characters of their television show is in the middle of a storyline. Patrick Mahomes is the most popular player in the National Football League. He is one of the biggest faces in the National Football League. Well, he missed the end of the season. Is he going to play in week 1 of the NFL season? They are already starting the process. We're going to get the schedule here in probably 2 weeks. I've been hearing May 18th is about the time that we can expect the schedule. They're still trying to figure out one more television package. You got to remember, NFL Network used to have games. They do not have an NFL Network anymore. So now there's 5 games that are just floating in the wind, and YouTube is trying to buy those games. I was reading that's why there could be a potential delay in us finding out what the official schedule is going to be. But back to the main point about Patrick Mahomes. He is a significant character in a television show. The drama, the intrigue of that character right now is he going to play in week 1? Everybody is commenting on it. Let's get you the latest from Ian Rappaport, who was on Pat McAfee's show, and he expects Patrick Mahomes to practice here coming up in a couple of days.
I wouldn't be surprised based on the words of Andy Reid if he's out there, right? It's ACL, it's LCL. The Chiefs have an excellent medical and training staff, so they're going to make sure that if he is on the field, he is out of harm's way and he's okay. The thing I would say is, rehab sucks. Players hate it, and it's miserable. And to allow him to be on the field is a little bit of a reward for the work he's done. Now, he has been working, like surgery immediately, in the next day for 7 hours. Like, he has been working. So this feels to me like the team is like, you know what? You have earned the right to be on the field for OTAs. What I would say is this does not necessarily mean that he's going to be on the field when the season starts. That is all very different. And that's really more like medical and training, like milestones where he hits them. If he is not on the field, I think this team will be okay. And obviously trading for Justin Fields, they've prepared for this. But either way, on the field in September or whether he's on the field in October, he's still not going to be 100,000% like he was. So they're still going to have to run the ball and protect him for a little bit this season.
You have to look at this like a television show. Can't you see what they're building? Mahomes is going to practice in May, but is he going to be there in August? Tune in later to find out. I mean, Rob, you see what they're setting up, right? I'm not crazy in seeing this, right? I can't be crazy. This news just started to pop up. This is the first time that they are having team practices. They're not practicing in January when they're eliminated from the postseason. They're not practicing in February or March. They get time off like everybody else does in their job. That's a little different, but they get time off. Now, everybody is expected to be there coming up in a couple of days. Is Patrick Mahomes going to be there? Tune in to find out. Well, we know he's going to be there at OTAs. This is the less stressful thing that you can do. There is no activity that you can have as a football player while playing football that has the fewest amount of stress than him participating in OTAs. It's catch. Of course he's playing catch. So if that's what you got to do with Mahomes to, hey, you know what? We know you've been putting in a lot of hard work. We know you're doing everything you can to get back on the field. Come on out here. Hand the ball off for a little bit. No one's going to hit you. You get to be around the guys. You get to get out of your routine of just working with your trainer all day. Here, show up. Now, I don't expect Mahomes to take every single snap. He shouldn't take every single snap. You got to keep that in the back of your mind. But this just seems like such a no-brainer to me that he's going to practice in this part. When they put on pads, is he going to be there? Is he going to play in any preseason game? Let's find out. So this seems like a very, very fair report to me from Ian Rappaport. It really does. He expects Mahomes to be there. It's OTAs. They're not in pads. They're in T-shirts. It's much more about installing the offense, being around your team, being accountable, knowing where everybody is. This is just a continuation of the work that he is already doing. It's a reward for him. You got a chance to, he physically there. You can talk to him. You can talk to his people and do all of these things. This just seems like a pretty natural evolution for Patrick Mahomes. The real test is he going to be there in August in training camp when it's for real? I'm not saying this isn't for real, but we all know that training camp is for real. You're going hard. You start putting on pads. Guys are hitting. Not they're hitting your quarterback, but guys are hitting each other. Guys are getting into fights. You're out in St. Joe, and it's 97 degrees outside. Is he going to participate in August? And we will all tune into the television show to find out.
I am actually interested in this because this is the first time we've started talking about training camp or actual football. Like, I don't care about OTAs. I know I should. I don't. They're in shorts and a t-shirt and a helmet doing walkthroughs. It's organized team activities. I don't care about OTAs. I'm happy Mahomes will be out there based on reporting, but you're right. It's playing catch. That's great. He'll have a sleeve on his leg. They will release some video on Instagram. Social media will be a buzz. I know it's coming, but wake me when it's real football time. That's St. Joe. This is the first time Ian Rappaport has talked about St. Joe, and he says just because OTAs exist doesn't mean that it's going to happen at training camp. That's the first time to me we've heard any reporting of that sort, because Nate Taylor and others have been saying the target is week 1. The belief is he's back by week 1. Ian Rappaport is saying, hey, OTAs, that doesn't mean day 1 of camp. And we know how Andy works. Like, if you're on PUP, just for the hypothetical, that does mean he might not be starting week 1. Like, Rappaport's kind of laying the groundwork for the opposite of what we've been hearing.
Yeah, because you have to create the tension for the television show. Adam Schefter, who they now work together.
They're new besties now.
Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. Schefter is saying, well, I expect him to be there in week 1. Rappaport is saying, hold on, pump your brakes. Come on now. Like, it's just, all I'm saying is don't fall for it. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is you can't hold on to every word in this because they are in the business of building this thing up. That's what they are. They're in the business of building this thing up. I believe that Patrick Mahomes will be there in week 1. I think his progress is leading you to believe that he is going to be there in week 1. Maybe he doesn't start day 1 of training camp, but I could see him being there the second week of training camp. He's obviously not going to play in the preseason games. They're not throwing him out there for that. They're not.
I apologize for interrupting. I actually think if he's 100%, the way Andy Reid's so old school, he'll play some in the preseason. I think it will be a series, and we'll get told how it's a quarter, but I don't think Andy Reid, for as old school as he is, going to have Patrick Mahomes take his first live bullets in week 1 against Team Blank.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if they did that. Now, I hear what you're saying. They also haven't really been in this situation in a while. They haven't been in this situation in a while. Now, you're right. Could they do the song and dance they do every single summer? Pat's going to play a quarter. Then Pat goes in the game. He hands the ball off 2 times. He throws it 1 time. He is never in any real danger, and they immediately take him out of the game. But in terms of this being like, hey, we're going to let Pat play a half, or we're going to let him get 3 or 4 possessions, I find it very hard to believe, because I would say what is in their best interest, more so than, quote, knocking off the rust, is knowing that he's fully healthy. And we already know somebody's getting hurt in preseason on every single team. You know who I don't want it to be? I don't want it to be the quarterback. Not when he's already dealing with an injury. Not when that'd be 7 months, 8 months removed from tearing his ACL. I just would be very, very cautious about potentially putting him out there on the field to participate in training camp. Let me know what you guys think. 913-586-7965. We got the report earlier today from Ian Rappaport. He was on Pat McAfee's show. He does expect Patrick to be on the field for OTAs, but cautions if he will be there for week 1 of the NFL season. Rob, I want to ask you this question about the World Cup. I'm starting to get excited about the World Cup. We're, less than 5 weeks away from it. I think the first game is, June 16th, I believe it is in Kansas City. Do you think Kansas Cityans are excited about the World Cup?
That's a great question.
Because I would say over the last 3 weeks, a lot of the stories that have come out about the World Cup have been negative stories and not really positive stories. Now, maybe this is the cycle of how these things get reported. But as we are heading into the stretch run, the stories are not ones of great civic pride and how the city is overly prepared for the World Cup. A majority of these stories are this activity is not going to be nearly as big as you expected it to be. Do you think for the most part, the average Kansas Cityan is excited about the World Cup?
Excitement is a hard thing to judge for all the obvious reasons. I'm going to say as of today, May 6th, the average Kansas Cityan is not excited about the World Cup because I think the average Kansas Cityan feels like they got sold a little bit of bill of goods and can't afford to go to the game. Like, the average person listening to this station probably can't afford to go see Argentina, probably can't afford to go spend the 5-way, and there's still a concern that despite not having 600, 700, 800,000 people in town, there will still be people in town, which could clog up the highways and make day-to-day traffic more problematic. So I think as of today, before there's a feeling of buzz and excitement because the tournament has started, I think today people are down on the World Cup and not excited. Not excited. I think that can change, but I think today they are down on it.
I'm just going to guess. I don't know. I haven't polled anybody. It's just my guess. I think there are a lot of people that just are not very interested in soccer and don't really care one way or the other. I think soccer is kind of one of those things. Like I say, everybody likes basketball. Now, you might have varying degrees. Some of you don't like the NBA, but you really like college basketball. But for the most part, most Americans like basketball in some form. It's not really how soccer is. I would say that soccer is very much a niche thing. The people that are into it are very much into it. I don't really get a sense, at least I don't, that there's a lot of soccer casuals. It also appears to me, Rob, and I'm saying this as somebody who just covers sports in general, it seems like the Kansas City soccer interest has just cooled over the last couple of years. The Current had a great run in the very beginning when they were building it, but it's not the buzz and excitement to go out there like it was in the first season. Sporting seems non-existent right now. They're not very good. You're not getting the stories from the Cauldron and people being all excited. So I would say, at least from some of the people, and I use diehards in a little bit of quotations, it doesn't really seem as they are into soccer now as they were 3-4 years ago. There's the group of people that just don't really care about soccer. And then I would say, I think there's a lot of people that are in the category that I am in when it comes to the World Cup. I'm not really the biggest soccer fan, but I love Kansas City, and I want Kansas City to be super successful. I don't really know what to expect as we are going into it, but I am very, very hopeful that it will go off well without a hitch and be an overwhelming success and boom for the city. I do think there is a large portion of people that feel the way that I feel, but we all know how this works. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, and that's not really the vocal. Like, there are a lot of people vocalizing that right now. I don't know. It does feel like we are in this period right now. There doesn't feel to be a buzz about the World Cup the way that it was when it originally got announced. And then I would say there was clearly a buzz when we were trying to figure out what games we were going to get in the city. Maybe there will be that buzz for the Argentina game because the greatest living soccer player is playing in it. Outside of that, I don't really get a sense that there is a matchup that people are excited about for those other three games.
I agree with you, by the way. I think they can recapture some of the buzz if and when you get close to the tournament, you start to feel an excitement about that civic excitement you talked about. If they can capture that. Because when they got the World Cup, it was a random June day in 2022. This was not like, oh man, this great soccer moment. When they announced the matches last year and Kansas City figured out what it was getting in December, it was not some big soccer moment. And the town, there was an element of civic pride. Like, oh, we're getting this match, we're getting that match. That's cool. The hope, if you're one of the leaders in Kansas City, is one of the power brokers, as you get closer to the tournament, a buzz and anticipation of the tournament starts to buoy up and, rising tide lifts all boats type of deal. I do think you'll feel a little bit of buzz when the USA starts playing, just because that always happens in the summer. Like, even when the World Cup's not in Kansas City or the United States, the United States team's playing, power and lights full, watch parties are full, bars are full. You start to feel that buzz a little bit. But I think they need some civic positive story in the next month and a half to kind of recapture that excitement that fans had 2, 3, 4 months ago, 2, 3 years ago. Because right now, every story me and you talk about on the show about the World Cup is not, wow, how exciting is this? It's, wow, what's happening? How are they not at this point yet?
What was the last positive story about the World Cup? I'm not saying that those stories don't exist.
Argentina, Portugal playing here, potentially?
Yeah, potentially. For sure. No, 100%. I mean, that's the best case scenario. True. The best case scenario is everything goes right. I would say maybe the matchup of the whole tournament outside of the final will potentially be in Kansas City. But it's also a tournament. We know how these tournament works. That's kind of like, for example, next year the Elite Eight is in Kansas City. The hope is going to be that Kansas is playing in the Elite Eight, right? The hope is that Missouri is playing in the Elite Eight. But, Rob, we've been around this thing enough to know you could get Auburn going up against Oregon in the Elite Eight, too. And people will not be excited if it's Auburn versus Oregon for a chance to go to the national semifinal. So we all kind of know how this thing goes.
That's fair. I guess the last positive was when they announced the draw and we found out that we are guaranteed to see Messi in Kansas City. Yeah, that was an exciting.
That'll be different for sure.
Tournament is you can't control the tournament. It is what it is. But I think when we found out that the greatest living soccer player in the world, and likely his swan song on the defending champion, is coming to Kansas City Stadium, I think that was the last day we had positive news. But it's been a while since there's been an influx of, whoa, can you believe that type of news? Like, I guess maybe do you count the teams when they announce who is staying here full time as big news? But
I don't think people care about that today.
I
think they cared about it I think they cared about it a year ago. I don't think people care about that today.
I think those are the last couple times we've seen a positive news story about the World Cup in Kansas City.
The World Cup is expensive. There's certainly no questions about it. And I got a story, but we'll just save it for later. I don't necessarily understand this part of it. Text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, who cares about this? We can't afford to go. We can't afford tickets. Who cares about this? I'm not paying $600 to go to this. We can't afford to go. People are excited about a Super Bowl. If you can't afford to go to one of these World Cup games, you really can't afford to go to the Super Bowl. But I don't hear anybody like, oh, let's not get the Super Bowl because we can't afford it. What are we talking about here? Like, that's not a reason to me to not be excited because you can't physically be in the stadium. I just don't think that's a good reason. Because if that's the case, then a lot of people won't be able to afford to go to the Final Four. A lot of people won't be able to afford to go to WrestleMania. And I was being told that that's why we needed this new football stadium for all these big events that we couldn't get. You think in the new stadium with the PSLs moved out, you're going to be able to afford to go to those things? I'm just guessing the answer for the most part is going to be no for the average person. So I'm just saying that has no effect on me. I like those prices for Argentina. I don't like soccer enough to pay that much to go to one of those games. I don't care who wins. I can't even tell you who Argentina's playing in that first game. I just want to go because I can see Messi and say that I've been. But I've also had chances to see Messi before and just didn't go.
I mean, it's actually Algeria. You're seeing Algeria. That's you have tickets to Algeria.
I can't wait to go to that game.
I agree with you. The idea that I can't afford to go, thus I don't care. That's good. There are people listening right now who can't afford to go to the AFC title game, and the Chiefs have that every other year in Arrowhead, and it's still an exciting moment for the city. There are a lot of things the city does that sometimes the average fan is priced out of, but it's still exciting for the city. It's just that I agree with you. That's a goofy argument to me.
I would also argue, and I'm not counting anybody's pockets, pay money for what you want to is, I mean, the lower level at Chiefs games are not empty. That's not much different than getting into the World Cup. If you want good Chiefs tickets in 2026, it is not inexpensive to go watch the Chiefs anymore. Maybe if you're sitting up in the upper deck, there's always going to be a game where the market completely falls through. But, I mean, let's say Mahomes announces that he's playing week 1 and they got a home game Sunday Night Football against a good team. It will not be cheap to go. And some of these, I would say people can't afford to go to the World Cup. I spent $140 a ticket to go to the World Cup. Now, I don't got good seats to the World Cup. But I felt happy with the price that I got. I also just didn't care about the matchup. I just want to say that I went. I don't care if good team, bad team. I just want to say that I went to a World Cup match.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think there are reasons as a Kansas Cityan to say, why should I be excited? I think there are fair reasons to ask why you should be excited. I don't think I can't afford to go, thus I am not excited, is a fair reason to be down on the World Cup. I can create a list of reasons why Kansas Cityans should be somewhat frustrated by the process and the fact the World Cup is coming, this, that, and the other. I think you're going to see news stories in about a month that traffic is bad for Joe Schmo because more people are in town, and that's going to anger people. You know how Kansas Cityans feel about even a minute amount of traffic.
Is it going to be that crazy? Like, I honestly think...
I don't think you're going to hit 650,000 people, but they're having 6 matches. Arrowhead holds 80,000 people. Quick math. That's like 400,000 extra people coming to town for just matches. Those people aren't just not in cars.
No, I agree. But I'm just saying is I haven't really seen a story that would suggest that the traffic in Kansas City is going to be significantly different than when another major event is here. Like, I haven't really seen a reason to think that the traffic for this is going to be much different than when the NFL draft was here. Now, if you plan on going downtown and doing all of the things, then yeah, sure, you have to accept that there's going to be more people there. But if you live in, let's say you live in Olathe and you work in Kansas, I don't know if we've seen a lot of evidence that would suggest that your commute is going to be drastically different on your normal day than it is because the World Cup is here. Just what data points do I have to believe that if you work in Prairie Village and live in Kansas, that you're just going to be massively inconvenienced by this thing that's happening on the other side of state line, and that these people are just going to be everywhere? I just haven't seen those stories yet that would suggest that.
I don't think you've seen those stories yet, but I think those stories are coming. They just announced their transportation plan earlier this week. A lot of buses, a lot of in and around the city based without your car. You're going to see stories soon about how Joe Schmo, who lives in Prairie Village, which where England's staying, by the way, couldn't get from Prairie Village to downtown Overland Park because of a police escort bus route changed his day. That story is KCTV5's ready. They're getting ready for that story one day.
Fox 4, problem solvers. They're definitely going to solve that problem. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll be joined by JC Pearson. We'll talk to him about the Chiefs secondary as they have made a bunch of changes. The Royals are one of the hottest teams in baseball. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
Baseball is back, and BetMGM, official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boost, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boost, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Been putting off some much-needed painting? Well, don't wait. Trust the professionals at CertaPro Painters to get the job done right. With over 70,000 five-star reviews, they make the process worry-free, starting with a detailed proposal and ending with a professional result at the right price. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
This Mother's Day, treat all of the moms in your life like a queen. No, wait, an empress. With a little help from Ivy. Surprise her with a stunning floral arrangement, or choose from dozens of gift cards for some retail therapy. Then bring the whole family to brunch at the Hy-Vee Market Grill. Just $19.99 for adults, $6.99 for children 6 to 12, and kids 5 and under eat free. Just one stop for endless options to crown her queen for the day. Only at Hy-Vee.
Moms are the most important people in our life, and she deserves to be honored on Mother's Day. This year, treat your mom to an amazing brunch at Hy-Vee with fresh eggs, crispy bacon and sausage, biscuits and gravy, fresh fruit, sweet treats, and so much more. You can bring the whole family for just $19.99 for adults, $6.99 for kids 6 to 12, and kids 5 and under eat free. It's Mother's Day brunch at Hy-Vee. They have everything to honor mom. So make this Mother's Day the most memorable ever, only at Hy-Vee.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. How long have you been stuck with the same phone plan? 2 years? 5? 10? Are you tired of surprise fees and confusing bills? Switch to Red Pocket Mobile. With Red Pocket Mobile, premium 5G plans start at just $10 a month. Pick a plan, lock in your rate, and that's the number you'll see on your bill every month. No hidden fees and no long-term contracts. And here's the kicker. Red Pocket lets you choose from 3 major 5G networks, not just one. Pick the network that actually works where you live and where you work. Try one, and if you like it, keep it. If not, switch to another. Never be stuck with a single network again. Plus, keep your phone, keep your number. Red Pocket Mobile, your new ultimate cell carrier.
New customers can switch and save 50%. Choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price and no contracts at redpocket.com. Redpocket.com.
DQ presents the $7 meal deal, a delicious meal serving up serious value. We're talking 100% white meat, seasoned chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and of course, a classic DQ sundae. Because come on, no meal is complete without a sweet treat. All for just $7. And now you can try it with the new Honey Sriracha Dip. The DQ $7 meal deal. A satisfying meal full of big flavor for a great value. DQ. Happy tastes good.
This afternoon, expect mostly cloudy skies with a high of 60.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
Rob, I was thinking this. So I went back and I just picked a random later year for Tom Brady. I was just curious. I went back to 2010. Can I go through the weapons that Tom Brady had in 2010? And can I tell you, Rob, that in 2010, the New England Patriots went 14-2 and led the NFL in scoring offense in 2010. Can I tell you who Tom Brady was working with during this time? A year in which he completed 65% of his passes for 3,900 yards and led the NFL in touchdown passes. I just want to read it to you. Their leading rusher was Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Do you think that Patrick Mahomes is a better or a worse running back at this stage in his career than Ben Jarvis Green Ellis?
Better. I actually think Isaiah Pacheco may have been better than Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. But
well, he never ran for 1,000 yards. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis ran for 1,000 yards this year, but that's neither here nor there. The backup running back was Danny Woodhead. Now, I like Danny Woodhead. Fred Taylor was on that team. Not like prime Jacksonville Jaguar Fred Taylor. I mean Fred Taylor, who averaged 3.6 yards per carry. So that was the running game for Tom Brady back in 2010. So this is 2 years removed from when Brady tore his ACL. The second year was 2009. They still had Welker and they still had Randy Moss. So I went 1 year after that. So it's 2 years after the ACL tear. Can I read to you the wide receivers that he had this year? Wes Welker led the Patriots in receiving yards with 848. Deion Branch was second with 706. Aaron Hernandez was third on the team with 536 yards and 6 touchdowns. Gronk was in fourth place, and Brandon Tate was in fifth place. Now, somehow Tom Brady made it work with this group of individuals. The Chiefs' talent is far better than that. Now, I understand you can only compare it to the era and who the other teams have as a weapon, but I will continue to maintain in the conversation of Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs have more than enough to be a top 10 offense in the National Football League this year. Now, I get it, Rob. You want another wide receiver. I know the text line wanted them to be more into going to pick up a wide receiver. I'm not saying you're right or wrong in that feeling, but with the amount of investment that the Chiefs have made in their offensive line, first-round picks, big-time contracts, going out in free agency, no one can say they have not invested in their offensive line or invested in the protection of Patrick Mahomes. Day one of free agency, they go out and they get by far and away the best running back he has had since the first time Kareem Hunt was kicked off the team. Since Kareem Hunt got kicked off the team, what was that, 2018 around the Rams game? This is by far and away the best running back that they've had on their roster. So the running game is significantly improved. I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes has far more in his pass-catching disposal than what Tom Brady had in 2010. You rather have this version of Rashee Rice than that version of Wes Welker, which is on the backside of his career. You rather have Xavier Worthy than Deion Branch. You got a better tight end than I would say Aaron Hernandez was at this point, a better tight end than Rob Gronkowski was at this point, and Travis Kelce. I'm not saying the Chiefs need to have the number one offense in the National Football League, but I imagine a large portion of people listening right now still feel like the Chiefs have the best quarterback in the league. If you think they got the best quarterback in the league and they have invested as much as they have invested in their offense, you can't say they've gone cheap anymore. Big-time free agent running back, first-round picks on wide receivers, second-round picks on wide receivers, first-round picks on the offensive line, one of the great offensive-minded head coaches in the history of the league. The Chiefs got enough that there will be no excuse outside of Patrick Mahomes getting hurt for them not to have a top 10 offense in the NFL this year.
I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. Hasn't this been the case for a while? Like, it's not like this year. I mean, outside of running back, if you want to say the running backs would tip the scales, I just disagree with you. But heading into last year, heading into last year, the offense had the same amount of investment. They had a first-round pick at left tackle. They had a second-round pick at center. They had all the offensive line investment. They still had Rashee Rice. Now, he was going to be suspended, but they had Xavier Worthy, a first-round pick who people thought would take a step forward. At the time, they had Hollywood Brown, who was a former top pick in the NFL draft. They had Juju. I don't think the Chiefs have done as poor of a job as supporting Patrick Mahomes as some people say. I just think it didn't work the way it has for Brady every single year in New England. Now, it needs to get back to working because in 2022, there was low offensive investment. This team was a top 10 offense. In 2023, same deal. I think Patrick Mahomes has shown he can do more with less. Last year was a little bit the outlier. They better get back to doing more with less or more with more, however you view this group, because it can't be another year of, hey, we're the 18th best offense in the league. No, that's unacceptable, and it's not just Kenneth Walker that changes that to me.
So on the text line says, C-Dot, you just said Gronk was fourth on the team in yards. I mean, he's fourth in the yards with 546 yards. This wasn't the Gronk that you were thinking of. I mean, he became that Gronk later on. But, I mean, he had 546 yards receiving that year. He wasn't a deep threat like that. So on the text line says, C-Dot, but that era, Brady was in a way better offensive system. I don't really understand these complaints if you believe so much in Andy Reid. I don't think anything's wrong with their system or their scheme. I mean, that scheme was good enough to lead them to a dynasty. It's not like we're talking about this dynasty was yesteryear. The Chiefs were in a dynasty 18 months ago. They were in a dynasty. Everything they were doing seemed to be working. Everybody now seemed to be on board. Now we got scheme issues and scheme problems. I mean, you guys know my stance on this. I just don't think their team was built correctly last year. I think they were trying to play offense with one hand tied behind their back. They were trying to play offense with a team that could not run the ball in any capacity, and it just didn't work. I think by them just having an adequate ability to run the ball, you will see the massive effect that it has on the rest of the offense. So I don't think it was a scheme issue. I think the Chiefs gambled on their running game last year, and it was obvious to them in August that it was not going to work, that they needed to do something different, that they just didn't put nearly enough resources there. They have fixed that problem, so I'm hopeful going into it, but I don't think this is a scheme issue. I don't think it's any of those things with Kansas City's offense. I think it was a Jimmy's and Joe's thing, not really an X's and O's thing last year.
Listen, Kenneth Walker's better than Isaiah Pacheco. I just don't understand how fans have gotten so down on the scheme and Andy Reid and all the stuff. I mean, outside of running back, is there any difference between this offense at the start of what we project the offense to be at the start of 26 or the start of 25? It's like the same. And Carrington, I was here a year ago. You were here a year ago. When we were doing shows in August, it was not doom and gloom. Watch out. Andy Reid's scheme is old. It's, he's got to change it up. Hey, they just have bad position coaches. That was not the conversation a year ago. So it's the same. It's the exact same. There's one room that changed on offense. So I'm holding the offense to the same standard that they have always been held to. They have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. They need to be a top 10 offense. I don't care if the running backs Pacheco, Kenneth Walker, Willis McGahee. I don't care. They need to be a top 10 offense. I also would say, and we don't have to go through this whole argument, just the way the NFL works, you got to go cheap somewhere. Last year, they chose running back. It blew up in their face. This year, they've chosen other places to go cheap. Wide receiver might be the one they've gone cheap
There's
at.
no might. I mean, they've
cheaped it up there. Let's see if it works, though. You have to go cheap somewhere.
They've spent no money on their wide receiver room. I mean, they've spent draft picks, but they have spent no money. They've spent no money. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, he's too predictable. Doesn't change it up and hasn't for a few years. To me, their offense got more and more predictable when they couldn't run the football. They haven't been able to run the football for the last couple of years. That's where I think the problems have been in their offense. This is not a Johnny-come-lately stance. I've been saying this now for years now, that the Chiefs have been trying to ask Mahomes to do something that no other team is asking their quarterback to be able to do. Now they can just run the football successfully. But, I mean, some of it just has to be the parts around you argument. Where I disagree with you a little bit is, I'm with you. You got Mahomes, you got Reid. But, man, when you look at all these other teams, like when you look at Josh Allen, you gave him a Pro Bowl running back. When you look at all these other quarterbacks, you gave them weapons to be around. Like, you got to give me things to go out and cook with. I just don't know how you have a dynamic offense if you don't have enough dynamic players. I think the Chiefs have tried to fix that problem this offseason. They're certainly more dynamic in the run game, Between Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, they had one carry last year that went for over 20 yards. So you had no home run ability. I just think that just severely limits your offense and what you can do. So the fact that the Chiefs have fixed what I thought their biggest problem offensively was last year, I think you're going to see what that does for the rest of the offense. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by JC Pearson. We're going to get his thoughts on the Chiefs secondary. They made a lot of changes over the last 6 months or so. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch, brought to you by Century Roofing, proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROMO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROMO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Fanatic Sportsbook makes every baseball game day this season hit harder. Swing for the fences with long ball jackpots. Just pick the player who hits the longest homer of the day to win a share of $50K in fan cash. Every day brings a new shot to win. Customers also get baseball profit boosts every game day. And your bets earn you fan cash, win or lose. To spend on merch, tickets, exclusive experiences, and more. Go deep this baseball season and download Fanatic Sportsbook today for the best baseball betting experience each and every game day. Fanatic Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MyReset. CT call 888-789-7777. MA call 800-327-5050. NY call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Offer not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatic Sportsbook app.
Get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectantly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's up, KC? It's Chris Bubich. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play with Denny, Jake, Brian, and Stu right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by former Chiefs cornerback JC Pearson joining us on the show. JC, how you been, my man?
I'm doing well, Carrington. How about yourself?
Good, man. Happy to have you on the show today. So you're doing something really cool this week. It's going to be a lot of former alumni like yourself, Deron Cherry, Will Shields, Danny Hughes, and Tim Barnett. Tell people what you got planned this weekend.
Yeah, we've got a great event coming up. It's kind of a safe space to kind of get some answers if they're dealing with cancer, this ugly disease, if they have family members dealing with it, or even friends, and just want some answers on how to deal with it, some things maybe to look forward to, and things of that nature. But we'll have a listening session where they can open up and have a safe space to ask questions of the physicians. We'll have former players, like you said, there afterwards signing autographs, and we'll have giveaways, and then we'll have the fun part afterwards. But it's definitely going to be a great event.
I'm sure you get asked all the time to participate in these things. You got to be diligent with your time and what you attach your name to. What made you want to be a part of this? Well,
the NFL alumni, obviously, we're all a part of that, and I'm the president of the Kansas City chapter here, and we're actually grateful that their Gear Up Against Cancer campaign has chosen Kansas City to be one of the cities where we can do these listening sessions and help these cancer survivors. We're hoping for a great turnout. They're doing them in a number of cities, NFL cities across the country, and we're grateful to be able to do that here in Kansas City and hopefully make a difference.
Right now, we're talking to JC Pearson. He's doing a really cool event this Saturday at Friendship Baptist Church. JC, there's a lot of Chiefs stuff that I want to get your thoughts with. Let's start with the 6th overall pick. The Chiefs go out and get Mansour Delane. You played corner in the league. What have you seen from this kid?
Well, I think he's got everything that it takes to be a great corner. He's got the speed, the quickness, the footwork, and he comes from a great program. LSU is a program that has put out a lot of good corners, and great receivers. And and the reason is that when you're working against each other every day, you have no choice but to get better. And when you're starting with a lot of talent down there, they develop them. They play a pro-style system. And another thing about this young man is he's got the listening to him talk, and I went to the rookie dinner and met him briefly, but he's got that confidence too, and that is a position that, regardless of how much talent you have, how much anything, you got to have that confidence and that swagger, because in any play you can be the GOAT, and you got to be able to come back from it. So I think he has that as well.
What's the biggest challenge for a corner going from the college level? And even though he went to a great program, played in the SEC, this is not the SEC, it's a big jump. What's the hardest thing about making that transition?
Well, just like you said, everybody is good at this level. Even the backups are good and were, the man at their schools, wherever they were. So you're not playing against, no disrespect, but the Vanderbilts or the the Mississippi States or whatever, and playing against their 2s or 3s at times. In the NFL, everybody is good and everybody can beat you. So you got to be on your P's and Q's at all times. And he's got the physical tools to do it, and just the mental side of it, just understanding how to be a professional and knowing that, and going to practice, studying film, not just watching film, but actually studying film, which is a big difference. And those are the things that he'll learn.
I want to go back here just a little bit. We're talking to JC Pearson. JC, were you surprised that the Chiefs traded away Trent McDuffie?
I didn't want to see it. I was not surprised, just because I knew that they couldn't pay him. And, if they could have worked it out within the salary cap, I'm sure they would have loved to keep him. But there was no way. They were so cash strapped at that time. There was no way they could have kept him. So, kudos to Trent. He got a great contract, and, kudos to Brett Veach, getting a good deal for him. And, and this young man, Delane, has got to work out, because not only did they, draft him, they moved up in the draft to take him at number 6. So he's got to come in and be the man.
I'll ask the same question about Jalen Watson. I only asked that question because after the McDuffie trade, I actually thought there was a window to try to bring Jalen Watson back just to have some continuity in that room.
Yeah, that's the one I was kind of surprised about. But, obviously they felt like they could replace him. Noah Williams filled in last year at the end, played well. So did Christian Fulton. So, they felt like they've had a couple guys there, and obviously they felt like they needed a couple more, so they drafted 2 more. So, I was kind of surprised by that, but I think these 2 guys give them a little versatility in that they can play outside, they can play inside, they can also move back and play some safety. And that's something that Jalen could not do, or they didn't allow him to do. Being a taller corner, it's a lot harder to move down inside. So he was mainly just an outside corner.
Right now, we're talking to JC Pearson, taking a closer look at the Chiefs secondary as the Chiefs make a lot of changes over the last couple of weeks. What did their draft tell you about their philosophy and what they want to do heading into the season? They spent a lot of resources on defensive players.
Yeah, well, that was a huge need, and everybody knew that. And I think they did a good job of kind of disguising what they really were looking at, telling people that they were looking at offensive tackle and that kind of stuff, and people were thinking they were going to go tackle. But, losing those 2 starting corners, we knew that they had a huge need at corner. We knew they needed to get to the quarterback more and pressure the quarterback, so they needed an edge guy, and they needed a guy inside also. And, what all these guys bring to this team is, if they're not starters, they're depth. And you know how that goes. You're just one play away. But I look at all those guys, and especially those top 4, as contributing in some way or shape on this defense this year.
I want to get your thoughts on this Kennedy kid that was drafted out of Oregon. The Chiefs just have so much success with drafting these kind of players. I don't know a whole lot about them, but just given their history, it's probably going to work.
Yeah, and, I think they drafted the top 2 corners in terms of win percentage and man coverage. And Kennedy was the best. And up at Oregon, too, they got a ton of athletes, ton of players that, end up going to the NFL. So he practiced every day against great players. And, this kid can play corner. He can move down inside and play the slot and play some safety as well. And that's, that's the versatility I talked about with both he and Delane is that, they're not big 6'2" corners that are mainly outside guys. They're 5'11", 6 feet guys that can play outside, but can move down inside and play in the slot and have that quickness in and out of their breaks to do that as well.
JC, I'll get you out of here, man. Tell people again what you got coming up this weekend.
Yeah, this Saturday, come and join us if you're a cancer survivor or have friends, family members that are dealing with cancer or cancer survivors. Come on out to Friendship Baptist Church. 8:30 to 11 o'clock. It'll be some great information with some doctors, as well as some former NFL players out there signing autographs, taking pictures. Again, Friendship Baptist Church, 3530 Chelsea Drive in Kansas City. You can just walk up and register if you want to, but look forward to seeing you out there. Everybody's welcome.
That is JC Pearson joining us on the show today. JC, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for popping on today.
Thanks, Carrington. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. That's JC Pearson joining us on the show today, former Chiefs corner, talking about a cool event they got coming up this week, also talking about the Chiefs secondary. Rob, let's spend a little bit of time talking about the defense. I know it's something that we already know, man. It's really hard to undersell how much of a transformation they have gone through defensively over the last 30 to 60 days or so. I mean, we're talking about a team that is radically different defensively in how they have spent their resources and how they've turned things over. I was reading a story earlier today. With all of the changes they have made and with now them emphasizing their draft picks, the Chiefs have the youngest average of any team in the National Football League when it comes to age. Like, you look at this team, obviously Mahomes is in his 30s, Chris Jones is in his 30s, Patrick Mahomes is also in his 30s. Once you get outside of that, this is a team that has a lot of young guys, a lot of rookie contracts or guys they have recently paid in the last 18 months, and they're going to try to retool this thing on the fly.
It kind of reminds me, and I imagine that over at One Arrowhead Drive, this is the big plan. It reminds me of 2022. Because remember, in 2022, the Chiefs defense was extremely young. They traded Tyreek Hill, and they brought in Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Brian Cook. They signed Justin Reed, who at the time, it wasn't like Justin Reed was 37 years old. He was a younger player. They had Nick Bolton at the time. Like, the Chiefs in 2022 had the youngest defense in the NFL, and their plan was young, fast, explosive, and we'll figure it out on offense. Like, that was the game plan, and it worked gangbusters. They went to a Super Bowl, they won the Super Bowl. They went back to the Super Bowl, they won the Super Bowl. Like that, one of the reasons you can say the Chiefs were so competitive and competing to be a three-peat is because of the fruits of that 2022 draft class. Well, in 2026, they're taking the same approach. It's the same blueprint. I don't know if the results are the same, but it's younger, faster, more explosive on defense, and just rebuild every room, which is what they have done basically since the season ended on January 1st.
Just looking at their snap counts from last year, I mean, Jalen Watson played the 4th highest amount of snaps. He's off the team. Brian Cooks had the 5th highest amount of snaps on the defensive side. Trent McDuffie obviously is very high on that list, would have been even higher, but he sat out the last handful of games. He's off the team. No more Charles Omenihu. I mean, we're talking about a defense that if you go by all of the guys that played 50% or more of the snaps last year on defense, about half those guys are gone. So this is a defense that has kind of turned over its foundation somewhat overnight, and we'll see what that ends up looking like for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll get back to baseball coming up on the other side. For the first time this year, I took a close look at FanGraphs. I'll tell you what it says about the Royals. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Tune in to hear the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews.
There's a high fly ball, deep left center. That goes Ward to the wall. Gone. Bobby Witt Jr.
Every Monday at 3, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
If you're looking for a new job and to work for a great local company, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is hiring. Top pay in the industry, health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and advancement opportunities. Check them out at GannAsphalt.com. One contractor, all things parking lot.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Taking a look at the pro football futures market, the win total market. How about the New York team in green in the AFC? Win total at 5.5, and it is juiced towards the under. And I think that number is too low. I think New York has too many good players on the roster to justify a number being this low. I like what New York did in the draft, adding a couple pass catchers and a stud edge rusher. I just think it's too many good players, and if the quarterback can stay upright, I think New York wins at least 6 games this season. I think they could win 7 or 8 this year. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Cole, and I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got a stall, Oak Grove. Right lane is blocked. Boy, big backups with this. 70 eastbound just before exit 28. Just know it'll be a slow go there. We've got Crash, Kansas side of things, 70 westbound just past 57th. Left lane is blocked. I'm bound with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. For the first time in a long time, I went on Fangraphs.com because I wanted to see the playoff odds. Now, I know we got a long way to go in the baseball season. These odds don't mean anything, but they tell a very interesting story. Rob, did you know that as of right now, there are only 2 teams in the American League projected to win 85 games or more? Both of those teams are in the American League East with the Yankees and the Rays. There's only 1 team in the American League projected to win 90 or more games. That team is the Yankees. Fangraphs has them right now with a 98.9% chance of making the postseason. It would be very, very surprising if the Yankees just outright missed the postseason. Now let's talk about the American League Central. Now I got to give you credit for this. You called the American League Central the NFC South. You said it's a lot of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints energy is what you told us. What team do you think the Royals would be in that analogy? Are they the Falcons? Are they Tampa Bay? They might be Tampa Bay. They have recently won a Super Bowl, but it does feel like for quite some time that Tampa Bay, they just been all right. What team do you think that the Royals are? Are they the Saints? Which AFC South team or NFC South team do you think the Royals are?
It's a good question. I think they're either the Panthers or the Falcons because they've had success. Like, we've seen the Falcons in the Super Bowl. We've seen the Panthers in the Super Bowl, but it's in the surprisingly distant past.
Yeah, that's fair.
And when you
they do got a lot of Carolina Panther energy.
You look at
they also went through a downturn, but right now the Panthers aren't bad. They're not the worst team in the league. They're not the best team in the league, but they're not terrible.
And neither one of those teams was a playoff team last year, but both those, I guess, previous with the Royals, like heading into last year, the Panthers and Falcons were not playoff teams, but there was a belief that they can take that step forward having a bad division. I don't think they're the Saints because the Saints are so Johnny-come-lately. I think they're either the Panthers or the Falcons.
Well, did you know that right now every team in the American League Central has a losing record? Did you know that? All 5 teams. Every team in the American League Central is under 500. The Royals are only a half game back. The Tigers have 18 wins. The Guardians have 18 wins. The Royals have 17 wins, but they are playing the Guardians tonight. I mean, they could just wild, honestly. The Royals could be in first place tonight. If both the Tigers and the Guardians lose, obviously that means the Royals would win because they're playing the Guardians. The Royals could be in first place by the end of business today. They could be in first place. Now, let me get to the projections here, Rob. They have the Tigers projected at 82 wins. They have the Royals projected at 80 wins, Cleveland at 79, the Twins at 78, and the White Sox at 71 wins. That's how they see the projection. Now, obviously, that can change. Let's see the Royals continue to get high. They can go up and down. You guys know how this thing goes. Do you still feel confident in the Tigers now, given this Skubal injury? Because I feel like there's been a cooling off period for the Tigers over the last 4 or 5 days or so. Are you still high on Detroit as we are heading into? We're not in the dog days yet, but the dog days are not that far from now.
I am not high in Detroit, and it's not just Skubal's injury. Remember, they collapsed down the stretch last year. I know we didn't really cover baseball in August because it was kind of over. The Royal season was done. I know they were over 500, but it was kind of, they weren't going to make the playoffs. The Tigers choked away a 10-game lead in the division in a 2-month span, then lost in the first round and did nothing this offseason to inspire that they're the team to beat. That's one of the reasons why I was high on the Royals. Felt like the Tigers didn't really assert their dominance. And now between injuries and their sluggish start, I'm not really buying Tiger stock right now. I don't think the Tigers are bad, but it was a year ago we felt like they were the beast of AL Central. What have they done to show that off other than choke away the lead and then come out Royals-esque in 2026?
Yeah, I just don't know. Somebody said the Royals can be king of the scrap heap by the end of business today, a direct quote from CDOT. I mean, that's technically the truth. I mean, the Royals could be in first place in their division today. They could be in first place.
To be fair, it's not like the AL West is not. The AL West might also be the AFC South. It's also bad.
I mean, they at least got a team over 500.
True. They got
one team. They don't got multiple teams. They at least got one team right now. Fangraphs is still very high on the Mariners. The Mariners are under 500. Fangraphs still has them projected to win 85 games. So Fangraphs still believes in Seattle and believes that they're going to turn things around. You want to know a team that they do this every year, but normally they're able to get back on track that I'm not super confident in right now? It's Houston. I'm not sure if Houston's turning this thing around, and in 60 days we're going to look up and we're around the 4th of July and Houston's going to be one of those contending teams. That window might have shut closed for the Astros.
I just saw a story that Carlos Correa is out for the season too. I think he hurt his ankle. He's done. I mean,
he's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, he's it is very Houston-esque to be bad at this point, but I don't think they're a threat at any point in the AL. I think their window has slammed closed. I mean, who outside of Correa and Altuve, that entire group has now disappeared out of Houston. Like Bregman's with the Cubs. So yes, I think their time is over in the AL West.
Do you think this is good for baseball, bad for baseball, or just too early to form an opinion that the American League looks as blah as it looks? I mean, the American League's bad this year. There's two real teams in the American League, the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. Everybody else is mid. Like, legitimately, everybody else in the American League is mid outside of those two teams. I mean, they have exactly what they want. Everybody is in it. Nobody is really out for the most part. The White Sox, they're in last place. They're still in it. I guess you could say in the American League East a little bit different just because of the division that you're in. Like, the Red Sox are probably not getting back in this thing. They just fired everybody. They're 10 games back, and the Yankees are one of the hottest teams in baseball. But for the most part, I mean, for the other two divisions, the Central and the West, I mean, we got to run here for the rest of the year where no team has really separated themselves, and it's going to be a battle. Is this a good thing, a bad thing, or just too early to tell when it comes to the sport?
I actually think it's a good thing. Because you know what happens every year in the NFL, and I know I'm cross-sport comparing, is that we talk how great the parity in the NFL is. We have a new playoff team every year. I know we're going to do this topic, Carrington. At some point this summer or in August, we're going to talk about, hey, what division winner is going to go worst to first? That happens every year in the NFL. You got to pick who it could be. Is it this team? Like, whoever. And we lap it up. Oh, we love the parity in the NFL. Well, the Major League Baseball, or at least the AL is a better way to describe it, is currently experiencing parity. Like, there is one top dog. Everyone else is in contention, which means throughout the summer, if you're Rob Manfred, you're going to have, 13, 14 cities across the AL that are interested in baseball throughout the season? You're telling me you can sell Sacramento and Seattle? They both have the same shot right now. You can have Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago. You can have everyone in the AL Central excited about baseball. I think if you're Rob Manfred, I don't know he would say it publicly, but I think the fact that the AL is depressed and everyone is in it is quietly a good thing for baseball, because now everyone in the AL feels like they have a shot, which means every fan base is still engaged in baseball as we get into the warmer months.
Now, I know we are a couple of months till we need to have this conversation, but if the American League is going to stay like this, where everybody is so bunched up, there will be a lot of teams who consider themselves to be buyers. Are there going to be a lot of teams that consider themselves sellers if everybody is in it? Like, who are the sellers going to be in the American League Central? I mean, if you got to go get starting pitching, if you got to go get a bat, where are those bats going to come from if, for the most part, everybody is still in it? That would be a question that needs to be answered. Now, I mean, it's not the case in the National League. I mean, there's some teams that are right now eliminated in the National League. The Marlins are not going anywhere. The Nationals are not going anywhere. I mean, you can say that the NL East is already over. The Braves have a 9.5 game lead over everybody else in their division. The Cubs are going to make the postseason. The Dodgers are going to make the postseason. The Padres more than likely are going to make the postseason. It's a little bit different, I would say, in the National League than the American League, because there's about 4 or 5 teams at the top, and then there's that middle and there's that fall off period. But that has not created itself yet in the American League.
It is a good question. Who will be the sellers of the deadline? I think it will be a problematic deadline because everyone will be calling the same teams. Like, I imagine if you're the GM of the Marlins, whoever that is, I don't even know. I'm sure he's going to get fired soon. They're terrible. You're going to be fielding 20, 30 calls for your players. If you're the GM of the Nationals, you're going to be fielding calls. Like, I think this year's trade deadline, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, is going to be lame. It's going to be a lot of, who was the player? Paul DeYoung. Remember the Royals had Paul DeYoung? They're like, okay, ho-hum, who cares? I think it's going to be a lot of those types of moves at the deadline if everything stays the same, because who's giving up on real players? I mean, the Mariners have hope. The Astros have hope. Like, right now, if you're a team in the AL, you ain't giving up any prospect. You ain't giving up any, body at the major league level because you believe you are just a couple tinkering moves away from being in the postseason.
I want to play this audio for you guys so you know that every week we have a brand new edition of Spec Says. No time like the present. Here is this week's edition of Spec Says.
All right, C-Dot, we think that the Chiefs are going to open up their new stadium in 2031, which gives us 5 full seasons before they leave Arrowhead. And following this 2026 draft, I was kind of thinking about who from this draft class could still be playing for the Chiefs on their second contract when the team opens up their new stadium. And given the fact that Trent McDuffie was only here for 4 years, was 2-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and still didn't play 5 years for the organization, it's kind of hard to say that any of these guys are still going to be on the roster or receive second contracts to open up the new stadium and still be members of the Chiefs. But I do think there's a good chance for 3. It may seem a little backwards, but I actually think there's a good chance that Garrett Nussmeier is still a member of this organization in 2031. They're clearly going to develop him. He can be their long-term backup solution. I think there's a chance that Garrett Nussmeier's there. I think number 2 is clearly Mansour Delane. It's one thing to pick Trent McDuffie at 22 overall. It's another to pick Mansour Delane at 6 overall. And if he's going to play outside corner or turn into a Derek Stingley or a Patrick Surtain, that is someone you truly have to pay. So I do think him being selected that high, playing a position of value, I think Mansour Delane is on the 2031 Chiefs. And finally, I wouldn't actually be very confident in this becoming the case, but I do think R. Mason Thomas has the best chance to receive a second contract because if he turns out to be good, you pay young pass rushers. They did it with George Karlaftis. It's done around the league. He plays a position that is premium. Again, I don't know if R. Mason Thomas becomes that guy or a $100 million guy off the edge. But if he does work out, I do see the Chiefs paying that guy. I think there's 3 on the list, but I'm really only partially confident in about 2 of them.
I think this is actually a really, really good topic. I like this Spec Says. I think history would tell you that it's more likely that R. Mason Thomas is on the team and playing in the new stadium than it is for Mansour Delane. Now, I understand the logic of 6th overall pick if he turns out to be, but history just says that the Chiefs would then turn around and get 2 first-round picks for that guy as opposed to what they got for Trent McDuffie. He is 100% right about R. Mason Thomas. If he ends up being a capable pass rusher, they will keep him. If he ends up just being capable, he's not a high-end guy. I'm not saying he's a guy that you think can win Defensive Player of the Year, but he's also not a low-end guy. He's just a guy that you like in your rotation and you feel good enough to keep around. That's a guy that usually you don't let walk and hit free agency. That's a guy that you're usually proactive in signing. I would say, just based on their own history, I would probably rank it like this. R. Mason Thomas, Mansour Delane, just because of what Spec says. You spent the 6th overall pick. If it ends up projecting, you got to be willing to go that extra mile. The Garrett Nussmeier logic makes a lot of sense to me, where 7th round pick, you just keep him that makes a lot of sense to me. And then I would say probably Peter Woods next, but I mean, you run into are they going to pay Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas and Mansour Delane? Like, the odds of all 3 of them getting to their second contract with the Chiefs just feels like a very, very low percentage to me. I think that's a fair stance to have about this team, even if the picks end up working out. Like, if you go back to the draft class that we all really tout, I mean, you let some of these guys walk, you let Brian Cook walk, you let Leo Chenal walk, you let Jalen Watson walk, you let these guys walk. Doesn't mean they didn't work out for you. They weren't good players. You just got to start the process over. I think that's a good talking point.
Let me ask you the question, because I think it's interesting. When we look back, I keep saying this offseason was a 2022 blueprint reincarnate. Let's look at that 2022 draft class, and let's see how many guys made it to the second contract. Trent McDuffie didn't. George Karlaftis did. Sky Moore didn't. Sky Moore didn't make it to the end of the first, but so it goes. Brian Cook didn't. Leo Chenal didn't. Isaiah Pacheco did. Jalen Watson didn't. Joshua Williams didn't. I mean, I'm forgetting someone in that draft class. That's basically the group. So one made it from the 2022 draft class that was exceptional for this football team. If I set the number at 1.5, are you taking the over-under of guys in this draft class that are one day going to play in the house that Pat built? 1.5's the number, and I'm putting you on FanDuel. Are you over or under?
It's a great question. I'll take the over.
See, is the over at 2, though?
Yeah, I take the over at 2. I'm just going back here, and I'm going back even more recent than you. Like, I'm looking at the 2024 draft class where, I mean, you got to start making a decision about these guys kind of sooner. You know what? Let's just do 2023 because these guys are at the end of their
decision
contract.
time. Yep.
Yeah. You didn't pick up the option on Felix. Rashee Rice is heading into his final year. A large majority of people don't want to pay him. Wanye's not somebody you want to pay. Could they pay Chamari Connor? I think you kind of got to see how this year goes.
Didn't
if
they draft
pay
his
Chamari
replacement?
Connor?
Like, isn't Jaden Kennedy what Chamari Connor supposed to be?
I don't think he will be back next year, but I wouldn't be stunned if he is back next year. B.J. Thompson, no. Keandre Coburn, no. Nick Jones, no. I also think it's important to note, we also look at that draft class like a failure. Mm-hmm. The last time that they had a draft class that you liked, I mean, George Karlaftis got paid, and that's about it from that class. That's it.
Yeah. That's why I said the number 1.5. Like, and that was a draft class, the Karlaftis one, that had a pass rusher and a corner early, and they kept 1. That's why I have the number 1.5. I'm going to take the under on 1.5. Just because history of what you just told me tells me the Chiefs aren't keeping 3, 4, 5 guys from these draft class. There's going to be a guy in here we're excited about who busts out. I don't know who it is. It might be Emmett Johnson. It might be Jaden Kennedy. I don't know. One of them's going to bust out. 6th and 7th round picks usually aren't guys that make second contracts. I understand what Speck's saying about Nussmeier, but it would surprise me if they keep a backup quarterback like that. But whatever. I think if the over-under was set at 1.5, you have to take under because history tells you the Chiefs just don't keep everyone on their draft class. They kind of turn and burn.
Yeah, someone on the text line says, C-Dot, I look at Garrett Nussmeier as trade bait. He'll be somebody like Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe. I mean, I think Jimmy Garoppolo was obviously like best case scenario. I would also say, I mean, at some point, I think the Garrett Nussmeier conversation has to be is, can he ever elevate to be your quarterback 2 and not clearly your quarterback 3? Like, I don't mind the draft pick of him. 7th round pick, it's a quarterback. I don't mind you taking swings periodically to be able to do that. But the Chiefs, I think, have had the stance of they go get established, veteran, failed starting quarterback. They like the Gardner Minshew. They like the Matt Moore. They like the Chad Henne, the Justin Fields. I mean, that's not what Garrett Nussmeier is going to be. He's not going somewhere else to start and then coming here. Do they ever get to the point in his development where if Patrick misses time and is hurt, do they feel confident to let Garrett Nussmeier get a start and get some room to run? That's ultimately what gave Jimmy Garoppolo a chance to start. Remember, Tom Brady was suspended, if I'm remembering correctly. He was suspended or hurt. He got a couple of starts.
It was Deflategate.
He got a couple of starts. He was really good in those couple of starts. He then got an opportunity. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo was good. He started 2 games for New England. He completed 68% of his passes, 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he was 26 years old. Somebody then took a chance on that guy.
I think in the Chiefs' ideal world, Garrett Nussmeier is Jimmy Garoppolo, or for an Andy Reid comparison, remember when Andy Reid traded Kevin Cobb away because he had Mike Vick? It's not a 1-for-1, but he turned Kevin Cobb into plus draft picks, and Kevin Cobb moved on, actually never became anything in his career. I think it's a good idea by the Chiefs. It just, when was the last time you heard of a 7th-round quarterback being so good that a team traded for him? Like the Jimmy Garoppolo thing. Jimmy Garoppolo was, a 3rd-round pick, I believe? That's a very different ball game as far as quarterbacks go.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that your best case scenario, honestly, is that he just ends up being a good backup quarterback for you. More so than you buying him for the absolute low and then he ends up playing. A lot of people are making the Matt Castle comparison. I mean, if that's what you end up getting for Jimmy Garoppolo, something ended up getting for Garrett Nussmeier, something went wrong with your starting quarterback. The reason we got Matt Castle is Tom Brady tore his ACL. That's the only reason why Matt Castle happened. We would have never heard of Matt Castle, but the biggest star in the NFL missed the entire season. So if you end up getting something of real value for Garrett Nussmeier, that is not good, I would say, for Kansas City. It means that something probably went wrong with your starting quarterback. Now, I think if you want him to be a potential Matt Flynn, but you remember, Matt Flynn was not traded for. Matt Flynn got a chance to start late in the year because the Packers had everything clinched. He then destroyed it and then got an opportunity as a free agent. I would say that's probably the most likely scenario if you think Garrett Nussmeier can ever be something. The Chiefs end up having it clinched for the final week of the season. Garrett Nussmeier starts. He looks really good in that start. And then he goes off in free agency and then gets another shot. But to me, buying a player with a 7th-round pick, hoping that he's going to turn into a 2nd-round pick, that's just such a small needle to try to thread through. All right, keep it right here. You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. Coming up on the other side, we'll continue to pay respects to the legend Ted Turner, who passed away earlier today. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast.
Pump up the volume.
When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circus Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circus Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circus Sports app or visit circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Mia from the Winnings Desk. Every Missouri lottery ticket helps support Missouri public education. Over $8 billion and counting. I was going to list every school, but yeah, there's over 2,400 of them. See the full list at molottery.com/education. Play it forward and play responsibly.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya, guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Save $2 when you buy 2 cans of Superior Products Coverall tire dressing. Plus, get 4 times O-Rewards points now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, 2-car crash up at 169 Highway northbound and Inglewood. You'll tap your brakes through there. Still a problem near Olathe. 35 northbound just past 100, 51st. It's the right lane blocked by a stall. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Earlier today, somebody texted the show and said, why should we care about Ted Turner? He was the one who had the idea for Captain Planet. Wind, water, heart. He had the idea for a superhero whose sole purpose it was to take care of the planet that you and I live on. That's not a man who can get a couple of minutes of respect, of reverence on this show. The man invented Captain Planet. The man invented the idea of Cartoon Network. He had the idea of a 24/7 news network, CNN News. He had the idea of a television channel that would show nothing but classic movies all day. You like Chipper Jones? You want to know why you like Chipper Jones? Because of TBS, because of TNT. You remember NWO? Yeah, I know you do. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan. Yeah. WCW. Monday Nitro. What a time. You don't know how many Monday nights I spent turning back and forth between a little Monday Night Football, a little WWE Raw, a little WCW Monday Nitro. Oh, my goodness. Sometimes when I'm bored, I just go on YouTube and I just watch an old episode of Monday Nitro. I watch a little Glacier. Who remembers Glacier on the text line? 913-586-7965. Little Goldberg spear. When you just need a 4-minute adrenaline hit, just watch Goldberg go up there, tackle somebody, do the little jackhammer. We're going to respect Ted Turner's life on this show, I tell you. Rob, hit the music one more time. This man invented Captain Planet. He's our hero, gonna take pollution down to zero. You wanna know when Earth started going to hell? When we got rid of Captain Planet. People talk about how great the 90s were. You wanna know why? Because it was a superhero that protected all of us and protected the Earth. Then we stopped protecting the Earth. Look at what's happened to it. Let's head to the phone lines right now to talk about somebody who is definitely doing their best to protect the Earth, Stephon Diggs. We're going to talk to Adam Kaufman of Nesson to get his thoughts on the wide receiver. Adam, how you doing, my man?
I don't want to talk about Diggs anymore. I want to talk about Captain Planet. I think I remember every word to that theme song.
It was a great song.
I could sing that entire song. And what was it? Earth, wind, water, fire, heart, right?
Heart, yes.
And then the big Go Planet, obviously. That was an iconic show, man. Really great show.
It was.
You remember when Don Cheadle made the live-action version?
I do not remember this. There's a live-action version of Captain Planet?
Well, it was like a Funny or Die sketch, like that kind of thing.
Oh,
or
I need
maybe
to check this out.
Saturday Night Live. Yeah, Google it. Yeah, it was Don Cheadle as Captain Planet, and it was awesome.
Okay, I only have 2 questions, Adam. I know you have a very busy day, and I don't know if we should spend a whole lot of time talking about Stephon Diggs. How much left do you think he has in the tank? Do you think he can help a contending team next year?
Yeah, I would say the answer is enough, and the answer is yes. He absolutely can help. It's just help is the key word. I don't think you bring in Stephon Diggs, any team, let alone a team like, say, Kansas City, to be your number 1 receiver, to be your primary target. I mean, even in New England last year, where he was, I wanted to say on his best behavior, but honestly, there were a few things that went on throughout the year, as we well know. But he was targeted 102 times. He had, 85 catches, went for over 1,000 yards, and proved himself to be healthy off the injury, and a lot of people wondered if he'd even be ready for week 1. He had really an exceptional season compared to expectation, and obviously what he was making, and as important as anything, he was a leader on and off the field. He was legitimately a really important piece to that team's success last year, but the reason that he's not back in New England, in part maybe some of the off-field stuff that was just concerning, really it was just what he was in line to be paid. He was going to get a hefty payday coming up this next year, and the Patriots weren't prepared to stomach that for a guy that's obviously on the wrong side of 30, whose production is going to go the other way eventually. But can a contending team sign him and still believe that he can give you 700-800 plus yards in the right situation? Absolutely.
Right now, we're talking to Adam Kaufman about Stephon Diggs. Now we get to the next part of it. Would you bring Stephon Diggs into your locker room from a personality standpoint and an off-the-field standpoint?
I really wouldn't hesitate, and I don't know if that puts me in a small camp. You know, we look at what happened last year, and there was the preseason situation with that pink substance on the boat, and then there's the in-season with obviously everything that happened with his personal chef that, as we know, he was just on trial for and found not guilty, and then the breakup with Cardi B that seemingly happened at the Super Bowl. You know, there were definitely some things that happened off the field, but what I would say is, as far as anybody knew, none of it was a distraction in the locker room or on the field. The guy was, again, a good soldier, and I think part of the Stephon Diggs story, the narrative of his career, is you think back to, you know, year 1 in Houston, year 1 in Buffalo, first couple of years in Minnesota. There were never issues with Stephon Diggs at the beginning. Over the course of time is when he kind of starts to wear out his welcome a little bit. So if you're talking about new team, new situation, you know, 1 year, couple of years, but the first year in particular, which is what you highlighted, I don't worry about it at all. I think he comes in, blends in, and, you know, serves as a good in the locker room and on the field leader.
I'll get you out of here with this last question. Who had the better theme song? Was it Darkwing Duck or Captain Planet?
Man, I mean, I watched both religiously. And look, we know when you're in trouble, you call DW. But I got to say, it's probably still Captain Planet. It's close. It's really close. That's the thing about now. Like, we don't get theme songs now the way we did when you and I were kids. That was the golden era, man.
That is our guy, Adam Kaufman, joining us on the show to hear the latest with Stephon Diggs. You know what, Adam? I wasn't sure what to expect with Stephon Diggs. You could have been very glowing. You could have said you don't want nothing to do with him. You were very positive towards Stephon Diggs.
I would, honestly, if the money were right, I would have brought him back to New England with really little hesitation. You know, I think that Romeo Doubs, who they went out and acquired, and obviously everyone's waiting for the A.J. Brown shoe to drop, but even let's just say that doesn't happen, I think that Doubs can give you what Diggs gave you. It's just you got to remember there are some games that he's kind of invisible, you know, has 3 catches, 5 targets, 30 yards, while other guys like Hunter Henry or Kayshon Boutte or Matt Collins, obviously specific to the Patriots, are out there. You know, Drake May kind of has that Jordan Love thing where it's, you know, favorite receiver's the open receiver, and there is no bona fide, clear-cut, absolute number one. And that becomes A.J. Brown if and when he gets here, and I certainly trust in Drake May to get any of these guys the football. But, no, Diggs was a good piece. I just think some of the off-field stuff plus the salary kind of caught up with him.
That is Adam Kaufman joining us on the show. Appreciate you, Adam.
You bet.
Absolutely. That's Adam Kaufman joining us on the show. Rob, which one was your favorite theme song? Was it Captain Planet or was it Darkwing Duck?
Of the two, Darkwing Duck.
The Darkwing Duck one's good. It's genuinely good. We might have to pull up both in the next segment, and we got to just go side by side. Did you have a favorite 90s cartoon theme song? Because you got like the cartoon theme songs. Then we had, regular TV shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Family Matters. It's a rare condition. We had a lot of theme songs back in the day, but the cartoons, they were also very special.
I'm trying to think of the one to stick out. And is it unique to Cartoon Network for Ted Turner or just in general?
It's in general. Just one that got you going.
Because it didn't have any words, but Rugrats,
That's a good one.
sound.
No, that's a good one.
Hey Arnold also on the list.
Yeah. Hey Arnold's a great one.
There's a lot. We're losing. I know it's a little younger. SpongeBob also has one.
SpongeBob is when I was out on Nickelodeon. At that point, I started making the transition to Cartoon Network. SpongeBob has never done it for me. I know it's super popular, super successful. I've never been able to get into that show. Just didn't do it for me. I'm telling you, I knew when I was out on Nickelodeon. When I saw Cat Dog and I saw SpongeBob, I realized I was not their target demographic anymore. Give me the old school. I need Nick. I need Doug. I need Are You Afraid of the Dark? I'm not watching Cat Dog. I'm not watching that. All right, coming up, I'm very excited about this. We need to hear both of these theme songs. People are giving us other 90s theme songs. We're taking a nostalgic trip down memory lane, and I want to talk about Stephon Diggs. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, two-car crash up at 169 Highway northbound and Inglewood. You'll tap your brakes through there. Still a problem near Olathe. 35 northbound just past 151st. It's the right lane blocked by a stall. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where fine jewelry is always crafted with care no matter the price. Mother's Day, birthdays and graduations, weddings and anniversaries, the new job you got, and even the one you didn't. Give a birthstone necklace, a heart-shaped locket made in Italy, or high-quality diamond studs you can trade up every year. At Shane Company, we have something for everyone, because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Did your HVAC struggle through this rough winter? When it comes to your home comfort, trust the local experts at Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Right now, you can save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with our trade-in allowance program. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, means you get safe, reliable service and peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Brought to you by RPM Revival this weekend at Flying H Drag Strip. More at racerpmrevival.com. RPM Revival at Flying H Drag Strip this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, presented by Monster Energy. The fastest street cars in the country throwing down, including Kids Power Wheels Racing, Burnout Contest, and Car Show. Pre-sale tickets just $20. Kids 12 and under free. More at racerpmrevival.com.
Hello, this is Jason Gudenkoff with Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas, the home of $50 over factory invoice. Since 1979, our $50 over factory invoice pricing has been saving Kansas City Ford buyers thousands of dollars when buying a new Ford. Our no-hassle $50 over invoice pricing has helped us become the #1 F-150 dealer in the state of Kansas. And now, for the 9th time, the #1 F-150 dealer in the entire Kansas City area. At Lewisburg Ford, we understand that price is important, but it doesn't stop there. There's other factors to this equation: trade allowance, financing, and customer satisfaction. We don't just say that we're great at taking care of customers, we actually do it. Ford Motor Company has awarded us with the President's Award 23 times. This is the top honor that they give their Ford dealers for customer satisfaction in sales and in service. So if you're in the market for a new Ford, come see us at Lewisburg Ford. You can reach us at 816-444-2300 or on the web at lewisburgford.com.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This Mother's Day, treat all of the moms in your life like a queen. No, wait, an empress. With a little help from Hy-Vee. Surprise her with a stunning floral arrangement, or choose from dozens of gift cards for some retail therapy. Then bring the whole family to brunch at the Hy-Vee Market Grill. Just $19.99 for adults, $6.99 for children 6 to 12, and kids 5 and under eat free. Just one stop for endless options to crown her queen for the day. Only at Hy-Vee.
Moms are the most important people in our life, and she deserves to be honored on Mother's Day. This year, treat your mom to an amazing brunch at Hy-Vee with fresh eggs, crispy bacon and sausage, biscuits and gravy, fresh fruit, sweet treats, and so much more. You can bring the whole family for just $19.99 for adults, $6.99 for kids 6 to 12, and kids 5 and under eat free. It's Mother's Day brunch at Hy-Vee. They have everything to honor mom. So make this Mother's Day the most memorable ever, only at Hy-Vee.
FanDuel can make watching the NBA playoffs even more exciting because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. You can turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to stats and trends, FanDuel has all the tools you need to back them up. It's everything you need all in one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Bet on the players you love the way you want by visiting FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel is an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Trading the jacket for flip-flops? Start your sun-soaked getaway stress-free with Park & Go. All covered parking keeps your car cool and protected while you're catching rays. Quick shuttle straight to the terminal. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned, customer approved.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Rob, are we allowed to tell people the news yet, or do you want to wait to tell them the news? Why'd you shake your head? You don't want to tell them the news?
We're going to wait.
Okay. All right. I mean, half of the text line will not be happy with the news. I mean, I'm happy. You're happy. Some of the people will be happy. Everyone will not be happy.
We have a whole promotional rollout we're going to do.
Oh, we do?
Well,
I didn't know.
Corporate, me, I'm working on it.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know you guys have been working on it.
Management's in on it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. They're excited about it. Okay. All right. Well, someone polarizing will be on the show Monday. Why not just say it that way? And then whatever plan you got, I just normally tell people, hey, this thing is happening. You should be excited about it. Rob is telling me that I should not tell you because they have some plan for it. I do want to talk about Stephon Diggs, who is also very polarizing. Rob, well, we stumbled on this because we led the show today just 5 minutes paying respects to Ted Turner. And my point about Ted Turner is there's some Americans that pass that you can say they affected everybody's life. You don't have to have an iPhone. Steve Jobs affected your life. Maybe you don't use social media, but Mark Zuckerberg has affected your life in some capacity. Do you watch sports on television? Well, Ted Turner has affected your life. Do you watch movies? Well, Ted Turner has had an effect on your life. So I don't mind paying respects to him, but one individual, he was real mad. I'm not listening anymore today. How dare you start this way? Well, we paying respects to the legend. So I was telling you guys that one of the things that Ted Turner did was Ted Turner had the idea of a superhero that protects the earth. That superhero is, tell him, Rob. Captain Planet, he's our hero, gonna take pollution down to zero. What a great 90s cartoon. So we were having a trip down memory lane on the text line of some great 90s theme shows. Because you got to put them in two categories. There were the cartoon theme shows, songs, and then there were the live television shows. You know, Saved by the Bell, Boy Meets World, Fresh Prince, Family Matters, you know? A lot of great shows. But there were some great cartoon ones back in the 90s as well. So we just had a guest on, Adam Kaufman. I'll play for you some of what he had to say about Stephon Diggs. He covers the New England Patriots. That's far more important than what we're talking about. But go down this trip with me. So I asked the toss-up, who had the better 90s theme song? Was it Captain Planet or was it Darkwing Duck? Hit it, Rob. What a song. What a time. You know what? We got to do a better job now as the moms, the dads, the uncles, the aunties. We got to do a good job of passing these classics down to the youngins. We got to do a better job of passing these shows down to the youngins. There's nothing wrong with letting your kid watch a little Number Blocks. What's this show they like? Bluey, K-pop, Demon Hunters. Those are all good shows. You know what, tonight? Turn on a little Rugrats for your daughter. Turn on a little Doug for your son. Just let them see the shows that you were into. Let them watch the original Ninja Turtles, not these remakes of Ninja Turtles. I'm talking about the ones back in the late 80s, early 90s. Let your son watch a little G.I. Joe later today. I'm telling you, you'll be happy, he'll be happy. You'll bond over it.
And not the Channing Tatum movie. I'm talking real G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I'm not talking, but you know what I'm talking. I'm talking about the ones you used to have the action figures back in the day. Yeah, the lunchbox back in the day. That's what I'm talking about.
Text line saying what I feel. Darkwing Duck theme song slaps around.
A lot of people are saying DuckTales. Can you pull up the DuckTales? I forgot about the DuckTales.
DuckTales maybe
I didn't really watch DuckTales like that. I remember the show, but I wasn't a huge DuckTales guy like that. Can you pull up the DuckTales song? All I remember is DuckTales. I don't remember any other word of the song.
I mean, I remember the chorus, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, no, pull it up. I don't remember this. Somebody said, Carrington, did you watch Rocket Power? Oh, yeah, I did used to watch Rocket Power for sure.
It's like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales.
Yeah, I wasn't really a DuckTales kid. I'm not hating on it. That wasn't a show that I watched. I don't have those nostalgic memories of DuckTales the way that everybody else does.
This song does slap.
It's got a nice little funky beat. Somebody said, C-Dot, that's a good idea. I've been watching the OG Power Rangers with my 6-year-old daughter, and she loves it for sure. Turn on a little OG Pokemon, you know? I want to be the very best like no one ever was. I mean, that's just, what an important message. A lot of great lessons we got from those 90s cartoons. I'm telling you, you need to watch those with your kids. Tell them to turn off what they're watching. Turn off YouTube and have them sit there and watch a little Animaniacs with you. What a time. What a time. I watch Pokemon today. Who doesn't love a Pokemon?
Did you ever get into Pokemon Go? First, going to just talk about this because Pokemon Go, I felt like I was too old for Pokemon Go.
I think Pokemon Go changed American history.
I don't disagree with that. It was the first time people were using their phones to go do stuff in random places.
That. I'm talking about when that woman went up there on that stage and said, I don't know what Pokemon Go is, but I want you to Pokemon Go to the polls. I think at that moment, I think our lives have been radically changed ever since that moment. She might have won before then. When she said Pokemon Go to the polls, I think it changed our lives.
I totally forgot that it happened.
It did. I'm serious.
I was too old to be playing on my phone like that. Sure.
Someone on the text line says, I'll try back in 10 minutes. Maybe you'll be done talking about all this nonsense. If you don't appreciate the DuckTales theme song, maybe this just isn't the kind of content you should be consuming. We appreciate the 90s nostalgia on this show. Certainly more important than whatever we were planning on talking about. I'm telling you that right now. Somebody said the Recess theme song. That didn't even have no words in it. It was just a beat, a melody.
Yeah, just a melody.
Yeah, but sometimes those also were good too. Like, I love the Duck theme song. And it's not really any words in there. It's just a lot of humming and doo-doo. That's all it is. I love the Duck theme song. Rugrats, another theme song that doesn't have any words. Very popular, though.
Yeah, Rugrats probably the top line of the doesn't have words, but I enjoyed it.
Someone said my Pokemon card collection is worth so much. For sure. That is one of those things that we played with as kids. Now, I don't know if this is the case. I don't know. But I remember there was a time where people were like really protective about Beanie Babies because they thought that you were going to get rich off Beanie Babies. If you kept all your original Pokemon cards from back when we were kids and you kept them in really, really good condition, you know what? You'd be rich right now. 100%. You'd be rich.
Do you remember that Pokemon had the knockoff Digimon?
I do remember that.
You know you've made it when they start making RC Cola versions of your stuff.
I do remember that. I do. I also feel like there were these like weird spinoffs. Like I remember every boy went through this like Dragon Ball Z phase. I wasn't really into Dragon Ball Z. It wasn't really my thing. But I remember I did watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Did you watch the show Yu-Gi-Oh? I did watch Yu-Gi-Oh! For a time.
I didn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh! My brother watched Yu-Gi-Oh!
We
So
had
I was
a
aware
lot of
of
like
it.
knockoffs. Did you ever watch VR Troopers? They were like the fake Power Rangers.
No, I was Power Rangers only. I never did the
No,
the
I
knockoff.
watched Power Rangers, and then they had their own little spinoff. It was called VR Troopers. Maybe the text line remembers that. I mean, it was not good by any means, but it was. it was that was like the.
It was on television?
Yeah, that was the Dr. Thunder version of the Power Rangers. It was. That's what it was.
Yeah, I never got into VR Rangers or VL Rangers.
That's what I'm here.
Now, I know there were multiple iterations of the Power Rangers. I stuck around probably longer than I should. I've seen multiple Power Rangers movies. That's where I am.
Yeah, I'll watch any. If they announced a new Power Rangers movie today, I would go see it. I'm excited to see this Mortal Kombat movie that's coming out. I mean, I'm not going to watch it in the theater, but I'll stream it when it hits the television for sure.
Beetleborgs. Beetleborgs was definitely a knockoff I watched. I know about Beetleborgs.
You watched Beetleborgs?
It was a bad knockoff. I'm not saying it was.
Play the song. I don't remember Beetleborgs.
I don't remember the theme song at all. I just remember some of the text lines like talking about knockoff. Beetleborgs definitely was.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I'm serious. I don't remember a Beetleborgs. What was the show about?
It was like knockoff Power Ranger. Where they were like Beatles. It was not. In hindsight, it was very dumb that I liked the show.
Yeah, I don't know.
Big Bad Beetleborgs. That was the song.
Yeah, I don't remember. There's not a time in my life. Somebody said you're missing a couple of good ones. I never watched this. This must have came on like UPN.
This
came on the CW. I didn't watch this.
This was UPN at its finest.
Yeah, I didn't watch this. What channel was that on?
I do not know, but I
didn't
the text
watch
line
that.
said it, and I was like, oh yeah, I definitely watched that show.
I never watched the Beetleborgs. Not once in my life did I watch that. I never even heard that until just now. I can't believe you guys remember a Beetleborgs. I gotta read what that show was about. I don't remember it. Not at all. I do remember Beyblades. The text line is talking about Beyblades. I do remember that show, but not a Beetleborg. That's you went too deep in your bag. That's like when we start talking about former Royals and you just pull one out like, hey, you got it, man. You watched way more Royals baseball than I did as a kid. Beetleborg is a wild 90s cartoon pull. I don't know. That was fun. That was certainly better than talking about Stephon Diggs. I do know that much. You know where I'm at. Go get him. I'm fine with you going to get Stephon Diggs. I was worried before we had Adam on the show. But after we had Adam on the show and he covered the Patriots and said that he was good, he'd have no problem. You know what? I'm not against going to get Stephon Diggs next year on the Chiefs. Especially for how much I think it'll be. I don't think it'll be a whole lot.
I'm still a no, but that's only because I think he's got more locker room problems. Maybe if it's a 1-year deal, maybe it's not a problem, but he definitely starts to have problems everywhere he goes in year 2, 3, 4. Like that's if it's a 1-year deal, I'm open to it. Anything more than a 1-year deal.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not giving him more than that. It's just that's not more than a 1-year deal, not at all. Somebody said, I'm too old. I'm throwing out Speed Racer. I used to watch Speed Racer. You want to know where I used to watch Speed Racer? Bring this thing full circle. It used to come on Cartoon Network. Created by Ted Turner. See, look at that. That's how you always got to bring it around full circle. I used to watch a little Speed Racer. I was a fan. Somebody said, what about Doug on one Saturday morning? No, we don't acknowledge that, Doug. If it's not the Nickelodeon Doug, the Disney Doug, wasted everybody's time. Terrible. Awful. No, not at all. Rob, who was your favorite Ninja Turtle?
I don't have a strong Ninja Turtles take. I mean, that's a bad radio thing, but go. I just they're all kind of the same to me. I didn't really be like, oh man. Michelangelo's my favorite. That wasn't me.
See, I think it's different, honestly.
Because I didn't like the show. I liked the video game.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's different. Are you talking about what character I liked playing with on the video game? Which one did I like on the television show? Which one did I like in the movies? Because on the television show, was never really a huge Donatello fan. On the game, hitting people with the stick, yeah, I would go get Donatello. That's what I'm saying. Now, everybody has a different version of Ninja Turtles. This was fun. I'm telling you, this was. We were going to talk about Stephon Diggs and do you want him on the Chiefs? And I was going to go through all these numbers and stats. That was a much more rewarding last 10 minutes of radio. At least for me, it was. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk about the Royals. They just keep winning baseball games. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the Pillars of Strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the Pillars of Strength.
I keep seeing celebrities posts, me in the 90s versus now. Well, the person staring at me in the mirror is definitely not the same person that could pull off bootcut jeans. Time creeps up on us so slowly. You don't see it until suddenly you do. Same thing goes for your bills. $1 here, an uptick there. It's a slow burn until one day you realize the price you're paying now is way higher than when you signed up. But at T-Mobile, customers had the lowest wireless bills versus Verizon and AT&T over the past 5 years. And with T-Mobile on their experience plans, you get a 5-year price guarantee, so you know exactly what your plan price will be for the next 5 years. So at least that's one thing that won't change over time. I can't guarantee you'll still look good with frosted tips, but T-Mobile can give you a clear guarantee on your wireless plan.
Lower bills based on HarrisX billing snapshots from Q3 21 to Q4 25 compared to average AT&T and Verizon bills. Comparison excludes discounts, credits, and optional charges. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Spring is here. Now's the time to get your air conditioner ready with a $49 AC tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. A tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Taking a look at the pro football futures market, the win total market. How about the New York team in green in the AFC? Win total at 5.5, and it is juiced towards the under. And I think that number is too low. I think New York has too many good players on the roster to justify a number being this low. I like what New York did in the draft, adding a couple pass catchers and a stud edge rusher. I just think it's too many good players, and if the quarterback can stay upright, I think New York wins at least 6 games this season. I think they could win 7 or 8 this year. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
This is the story of the one.
As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Things have settled down a little bit through downtown. I see more yellow than I do red now. Olathe, those stalls are still causing a little bit of a problem. 35 northbound past 151st, right lane blocked. And then 35, you've got southbound at 169 highway, right lane blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Carter Jensen from the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I didn't plan on talking about this. It was not in the news and notes, but sometimes I can't move forward with what we had planned to talk about, and this story just be in the, I can't do it. I would never just go from 90s television shows to then something not local, but I'm ready to leave Diana Russini alone. I'm ready to leave her alone because now I feel TMZ, Rob, TMZ had their first chance to get those pictures. They decided to pass on it and went to the New York Post. And now TMZ, they have just been dedicated to kicking this woman's back in for the last 2 weeks. Did you see their new exclusive story? Listen to this headline. Mike Vrabel and Diana Russini kept things afloat during her pregnancy, and they rented a boat together. So they, you know TMZ, they own it. Ain't nobody working harder than TMZ, not even the devil. Add a new chapter to their saga. TMZ learned that the two allegedly rented a private boat together for a day on the water for just the two of them. They got the paperwork and signatures for it. The NFL duo booked the vessel back in Tennessee back in June of 2021, a source with the knowledge. I mean, they have the paperwork for it, so they do it. That timing of the outing might raise some eyebrows because Diana Russini was pregnant at the time with her first child. It is important to note in this. Now, I want to leave the kids out of it, but the name of her first son is Michael, which is also the name of the person she was having an affair with. You do with that information what you want. The documents obtained by TMZ Sports show that the company both signed the waiver. They then went out to the lake, blah, blah, blah. They were taking pictures with the staff, doing all that kind of stuff. All right, cool. There was a time where I didn't think that he was going to get fired for this. I don't know, man. It's not 100% to me. If you were telling me, I mean, I thought this story would have died a while ago. I really did. I thought the story was going to die. I thought it was going to die after the draft. I thought this story was going to end. They keep finding more stories. They keep finding more stories. Maybe he won't get fired. You're telling me you would be stunned if tomorrow there was a breaking news sounder that Mike Vrabel has decided to step down as the head coach of the New England Patriots and wants to spend time and focus on his personal life and his family. I don't know how you could be stunned if this every 3 days we get more information about these two individuals. Constantly. Now, I mean, I'm not surprised the people that were having an affair were spending time with each other. I mean, they didn't really seem to take a break from spending time with each other.
Every day we get more and more, I don't want to call it news. I mean, news is a strong term. We get more information about this story. I am more and more pushing toward, I don't know, he coaches in 2026.
That's what I'm saying. I
think right now it's 35-65, like 65 he does, but like, you're telling me there's two more bombshells? Like, making that, I don't know what they are. If there are two more bombshells in this story, that number is going to start pivoting fast.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it's not our problem. It's not our business. I get all of that. But I also think it's kind of weird we say that about football players. Like, we openly discuss their private lives all the time. Like, we don't discuss other people's salary all the time or how much we should pay them. Like, I think we can acknowledge that we have a look into their lives and discuss their lives in a way that we don't really discuss other people. At some point, her and her husband have to release a statement that that's their kid. Because you don't see how this looks to the rest of us. You were spending time with this man while you were pregnant, and your son just happens to have the same name as this other person. I don't know about you guys, but I know a whole lot of people that are named after their father. A whole lot of people that are named after their kid. Like, that's the one thing to me they have to answer. Maybe we never get the full story on this thing. It's a private matter. You're not trying to throw kids into the mix, but if you got a public-facing life in the way that they have and you get caught with this, I don't know if you can keep the family stuff out of it when you are actively doing something that would disrupt and break up your family. Right? Like, this isn't like Mike Vrabel got a DUI and now we just started prying into everything of his life. Like, you were doing something actively that would break up your... If you were hanging out with the woman when she was pregnant and then the baby gets named after you, I just got a lot of questions that are attached to this.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I just feel like the personal stuff now at this point, I don't really care about. They're clearly having an affair. They got caught. At a certain point, the NFL is going to have to step in and do something, because how many times have they told us with players, hey, that's contract detrimental to the league because you're affecting the shield? Do you know what the biggest story in the New York Post is every day?
One of your coaches doing this.
Your Super Bowl coach. He was in the Super Bowl 60 days ago,
yeah, for sure.
90 days ago. That at a certain point, that's a black eye on the shield as much as with a reporter who covers your league.
Yeah, and this part, like someone just sent in, guys, you got to remember that their owner was caught giving happy ending massages. He isn't getting fired for an affair by that guy. You're right. But the Robert Kraft story just kind of went away. I mean, the Robert Kraft story is he went to a place, he was getting a special rub down, and that was just kind of it. Like, it's not like every 3 days we kept hearing of new people that were giving him massages and it stayed in it. I mean, this Diana Russini, Mike Vrabel has been one of the 3 biggest stories in the NFL now for almost a month. And they just keep coming up with new, hey, did you see this thing? Did you see this thing? Did you see this thing? The only way to really make it go away is Vrabel just steps down. Because I think we all know where this is headed. At some point, like, you think we never hear from Diana Russini again? Diana Russini, she is setting up her Good Morning America interview as we speak. She is setting up her Today Show, go on there, cry, interview. You know the interview I'm talking about. We just saw that girl from Michigan do it 2 weeks ago, Paige Shriver. She just did her, I didn't know it's going to go like this. Well, you're sleeping with a married man who has 2 kids. How'd you think this was going to go? It went exactly how I would have guessed it would have went. So Diana Russini right now is getting ready for her sit down with Gayle King, I can't believe this has happened to me interview. And it's also important to note, the owner, the person that's signing the checks, what he can get away with, and you receiving the checks, largely 2 different things. This isn't with some random 25-year-old. This is with one of the reporters that were covering the league. That's been in your locker room.
Also,
that's been in your facility. It's a way different situation.
I'm not defending the behavior. Outside of Donald Sterling, have we ever seen an owner do something so bad that they got run? Jerry Jones has issues. Robert Kraft has issues. Like, I can name owners who have had issues.
Yeah, you got to do something. You got to do something racist or just really vile, like Carolina's owner.
Correct. Jerry Richardson. It's got to be real bad. Like, it can't be like, I'm not defending at all what Robert Kraft had happen, but he doesn't hit the threshold of how leagues view owners. Leagues view its employees very differently, and Mike Vrabel is an employee.
Yeah, man, I don't know. This is a crazy story. This is a crazy story. She then posted a picture on the boat they got. Just, oh my goodness, this is real nasty work from these two individuals. So I guess he who has no sin cast the first stone. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, it ain't looking good for Mike Vrabel and Diana Russini. All right, let's talk about the Royals. I'm sorry we had to take a break away from the Royals.
By the way,
100% apologize.
Speaking of the Royals,
I got distracted. I'm sorry.
This is not Royals breaking news, but I got some notes here from Vern about how Carlos Estevez was taken out of his rehab assignment today for not having much velocity.
Actually, you know what? Let's get to that after this. Let's have a nice reset.
This is Kansas City.
No, this is Kansas City.
Now this is Kansas City. You ready? Now this is Kansas City.
All right, Rob, what were you going to tell us? What's the news that you have? It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good.
If you have a Carlos Estevez jersey, it does not sound like good news. Carlos Estevez left his rehab assignment earlier today in Omaha after 14 pitches.
He just got there.
He threw 14 pitches and was taken out of the game with the trainer. He did not look happy. His velocity got all the way up to 91, so just really big heater. His final pitch was 89, and a trainer took him off the field.
Hold on. Let's go back. Hold on. I just want to go back. So they're trying to get Carlos Estevez ready, and Carlos Estevez is still not ready, and he's still getting beat around.
And he's now coming off the field, the trainer.
You know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like they're shutting it down. He's having Tommy John surgery. Doesn't that sound like that? Text line. If I'm 913-586-7965, I've seen this story too many times with the pitcher. His velocity's down. He's been getting beat around. We get a tweet here in a couple of days from Ann Rodgers that Carlos Estevez is getting Tommy John surgery and out for the remainder of the year as they try to fix a more serious problem. That's where the story seems to be headed. There's something physically wrong. This is not a mental thing. There's something physically wrong with Carlos Estevez that I'm not super confident that they are about to just turn around and fix. He was clearly wrong during the WBC, but people just weren't paying attention to it. Once everybody came back, something was clearly off the first week of the season. The Royals noticed it. It's now a month later, and it doesn't appear like the problem has been solved. This sounds like a classic, hey, let's go under the knife, let's take a closer look at this thing, and let's sit you on the shelf for the next 4 months. That's just where it seems like this story is heading.
I know we had talked about yesterday or the day before with Vern. Hey, they're getting Estevez back in the bullpen. I don't think Estevez is back at all this season. I don't think he's back in Royals jersey again because his contract expires into this season. I believe
done,
he's done in Kansas City.
He's done.
They got one really good year out of him, and it has not worked at all in 2026.
I mean, that's what it is to have a bullpen guy. That's why you treat them like running backs. You use them up. They used them up last year, and now they moved on, and they got Lucas Erceg, and they're going to use him up until they find the next Lucas Erceg, and the cycle continues.
Yep.
That's just how this thing goes. But no, man, Carlos Estevez,
89.
It sounds like it's over. He's throwing 89-mile-an-hour fastballs.
He got 2 outs in AAA, and the trainer came and got him after 14 pitches.
Last
fastball was at 89.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, they're shutting him down.
There's no way they're not. There's no point in having him continue to rehab. He's not going to help you at any point this year if he's throwing 87-mile-an-hour nothing.
No, not at all.
Can you imagine me like, hey, we're going to go get Jamie Moyer out of the bullpen? That's a bad plan.
He pitched 1/3 inning this year and gave up 6 earned runs. He has an ERA of 1.62. That's like 2 tanks of gas.
By the way, 162 is 162, right? Because here in baseball, here 162, you think 1.62.
No, my bad. I'm sorry. 162. My bad. I didn't mean it like that. That's not good. That's not good at all. I mean, that's how much it costs to take a family of 4 to the movies. That's not what it should be. That's crazy. So Carlos Estevez, I mean, he was back, and now he's no longer back. I mean, we know where this is headed. But I will say, I mean, the Royals, for losing a guy who just last year was an all-star, the Royals have managed this very, very well and have not missed a beat and seem to have his replacement. That's not really the case, I would say, most of the time. You lose a guy who led Major League Baseball in saves. We are now here where the Royals are a half game out of first place. And I don't really hear or sense a lot of worry from the Royals that this is something that they need. And it's also one of those things, I mean, bullpen guys are usually the easiest thing to go acquire. They have their closer. I would say they have their 8th inning guy. I mean, maybe you wanted to throw Estevez in as a possible long relief guy or a 6th inning guy. I mean, that's not the... You can figure that out if you're the Royals. They are managed in a way that they can get past this.
I mean, well, a couple of years ago, when there was the playoffs in 24, I believe. At the deadline, it was like, you got to get a bullpen arm, They got Lucas Erceg for, I don't even remember what they gave away, and now he's their closer, and he's been good for them this season. He was good for them last season. Like, bullpen arms usually cost a lotto ticket single A guy and a double A play. It's not like you got to get rid of your top prospect to get a bullpen arm. At least the bullpen arm the Royals looking for. They're not looking for, Mariano Rivera on the market, but this bullpen doesn't look like Carlos Estevez is coming back at any point to save them.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. Going under the knife is a bad idea. The Royals should have traded him in the offseason. I don't know if he would have passed a physical in the offseason.
Or if he did, what team is taking a guy who everyone knows is throwing in the 80s?
I'm just saying, even then, like, if you had made the trade in the offseason, I'm not trading him without our guys evaluating him. I'm not making that trade like, yeah, you can agree in principle to a trade, but like what happened with Max Crosby, you get to bring him into your camp, test him out, hey, work out, let's see what it looks like before we finalize the deal. I would just say it was over. It expired. It expired way longer than you think. The Royals were not pawning this off on somebody else. I mean, he hasn't been healthy really at any point this season. He wasn't healthy in spring training. He's not healthy now. When would you have traded Carlos Estevez and think you gotten something back from him?
And even if he's past the physical, we just talked about how relievers are easy to acquire. You weren't getting Duran for Carlos Estevez. You were probably getting, at best, a double-A fielder. Like, that's like the pie in the sky. Like, I agree with the sentiment by the texter, but he was not the difference in, like, the offseason being dramatically different. I also think, like, Carlos Estevez the Royals got every bit of baseball out of him. Not the Royals' best contract, but it's not the worst either. They did an okay job of managing Estevez through the year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it. I mean, 2 years, $22 million. They signed him to a deal. They got him last year. I mean, they're obviously not picking up the club option for 2027, and he's got a $2 million buyout. So, I mean, to be fair, I mean, they paid a lot for basically 1 year of service. I hear what you're saying. Them having the $10 million this year, that's not a deterrent for anything. But maybe there's some kind of injury guarantee. I don't know all the ins and outs of his deal. But, I mean, they essentially paid him $22 million for 1 year to be their closer. And for an organization that money is tight, that's not the best use of their resources.
Yeah, I thought it was 12. So, yeah. So now that I'm looking at it, 22 is not the best use of money, but $2 million go away. They'll reset the shot clock with a new closer next year in the offseason.
Nice to keep Lucas Erceg. He's been good.
Yeah, I mean, he's
very good for them.
He's also ARB eligible next year. It's just basically free for those who don't understand contracts with the MLB. That's basically free. I will say this about Carlos Estevez. You said, the Royals did what they're supposed to do, use him and abuse him. There's one thing the Royals did wrong. It's that they came out of spring training relying on him. Not only was he on the roster, which I think was a mistake, he should have been on the IL, he was the opening day closer. He's throwing 89 in AAA and getting beat around, and you think that guy's he's going to go get major leaguers out? That's like, we laugh about the 6 earned runs. How did no one see it down in Arizona?
I think they saw it, but I think there's hey, let's see how it goes. Now, I give the Royals credit. It's not like they kept throwing him out there. They threw him out there one time. It went as most people expected it was going to go, and they very quickly pulled the plug and had a plan B for it. Now, I think you could also argue that some of the reason why their bullpen struggled for the first 30 days or so is them trying to figure out how to manage it. But now we sit here, the Royals have now figured out their workflow. They have figured out what their bullpen does. Now, someone also said, C-Dot, you also don't trade the league leader in saves if you want to compete. I mean, it's a little bit of the double-edged sword because, I mean, if you realize that the car was about to go bad, getting out of the car as early as possible and pawning it off on somebody else, sure, it would have looked funny to us, but I would say this isn't really that much different than what happened with L'Jarius Sneed. Now, different sport, different situation. Sneed's a little bit younger, but the Chiefs pretty clearly recognized that the check engine light was on with L'Jarius Sneed, and they needed to get out of that car as quickly as possible. That is exactly what the Chiefs did. They got full value for L'Jarius Sneed and then moved on. Everybody was mad. Oh, we wanted to get more than this. No, the Chiefs got the appropriate amount of money and didn't sink anything else into it. So if there was a window to get something for Carlos Estevez and the Royals had a little bit of an inkling that things were going to go the way that it's gone, I mean, maybe they should have got out of it. Again, it's $10 million. I'm not that mad that the Royals didn't trade him, but he was a valuable asset for them. He is now not a valuable asset, and he just cannot get healthy. If you guys missed it, Carlos Estevez had his first rehab start today, and it did not go well. He made it through 2 batters, 14 pitches, and was removed for the same things that sent him down there with the arm injury. All right, Rob, coming up on the side, I want to play for you guys something that Peter Woods had to say because it is such a straightforward statement, but I think it's exactly the mindset that the Chiefs need to have on their defensive line next season. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into a same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, be sure to bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one single app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local to bet your same-game parlays. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code BUILD to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code BUILD to borrow up to $10,000. Use code BUILD to borrow up to $10,000.
At Busey, banking is about more than numbers. It's about relationships. For over 150 years, we've been helping individuals, families, and businesses reach their goals with personalized service and local decision-making. Whether you're opening your first account or planning your next big move, we're here with the tools and support to help you move forward with confidence. Busey Bank, your partner for life's moments, both big and small. Member FDIC.
Hello?
Hey sis, got a sec?
Yeah, what's up?
Take a look at the picture I just sent you. I'm walking into Hellsburg and want to get Mom something special for Mother's Day.
Yeah, she's done so much for us this year. Let's see. Diamond pendant. Oh, she'd love this.
Great. I'll get this, which means you're in charge of flowers.
Okay, deal.
This Mother's Day, save up to 50% on timeless gifts for mom. Shop at a store near you or at Hellsberg.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. If you've been putting off some much-needed painting, don't wait any longer. Call CertaPro Painters now. They'll provide a free estimate quickly and at the right price, and you never have to wonder what's next. They provide reliable communication and updates because they know how important your home is to you. Take advantage of CertaPro's spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects before May 15th. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Cole, and I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLInjuryLaw.com.
Things have settled down a little bit through downtown. I see more yellow than I do red now. Olathe, those stalls are still causing a little bit of a problem. 35 northbound past 151st, right lane blocked. And then 35, you've got southbound at 169 highway, right lane blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I have 2 things that I want to talk about before we get to the top of the hour. First thing is a baseball thing, talking about the Kansas City Royals. I'm starting to make the transition from maybe cautiously optimistic to, you know what, man, the Royals, I think, can really do this thing. I mean, Rob, I'm just taking a look right now at their division. And their division is bad. Like, I mean, really bad. Like, I'm on Fangraphs. There's only one team in their division that's projected to finish above 500, and it's the Tigers, who are projected to win 83 games. The Tigers also are going to be without their best player for the next couple of months. So if you are a Tigers believer or a Guardians believer, which there's certainly people that are, I also don't know why the Royals, Twins, and I think the White Sox are eventually going to pace out. It's just over time. But the Royals are just in it because of their division. And if you look at it, the Royals with their lineup, with their starting pitching, they are built to just kind of take the storm, I think, better than these other teams. I mentioned this earlier, and I'll say it now. I give the Royals a lot of credit for getting themselves back up off the mat, because we have all followed Royals baseball for a very long time. The losing streak that they had 3 weeks ago, I have seen kill a lot of Royals teams. I haven't really seen many Royals teams pick themselves up after they got knocked out. The Royals on April 6th were 5-5. Fast forward, Rob, 20 days later, they were 10-17. So, I mean, they did a lot of damage to themselves over a very short period of time. But you know what the Royals have done then? The bottom for the Royals, they were 8-17, and they had just lost a home series against the Baltimore Orioles. And that was coming off a road trip in which they lost every single game. They did exactly what they needed to do against the Angels. They did exactly what they needed to do against Seattle. And you had a 4-game series against Cleveland, and you have won the first 2 games of that series, and you got Reagans and Lugo going these next couple of days on the Hill. You also get Detroit here coming up this weekend, where if you look up, the Royals can be in first place in their division tonight. I know I've been saying, hey, they got to get back to 500. I mean, if you're in first place in your division, you're obviously in it. I mean, the Royals could be in first place tonight. The Tigers lose. The Royals win. The Royals are in first place in their division. So I don't know necessarily if that means that the Royals are good. I don't know if that means that the Royals are bad. I don't know. I think we all kind of have the same questions about this team and how can they keep this pace, and what does it look like eventually when they're not in a stretch where they've won 9 of their last 11 games, and who can kind of create that separation in their division. But there is no doubt in my mind, at least, there is not a single team in the American League Central that is good enough to be able to run away from everybody else. That's just not how their division is built. That's not really how the American League is built right now.
I feel like we've joked, like, with the Royals of the past. We've done Royals random lineups. You pull up their record, they're 7-16. It's 06, season's over. They're 7-16. It's 2011, the season's over. The Royals get a lot of credit for battling back. They also got lucky that the AL stinks. But you know what? It's time to take advantage of it. You mentioned being in first place by the end of the day today. By Monday, next time we talk to Denny Matthews, they could be above 500 and in first place. Because not just the Guardians tonight and tomorrow, you then have those ailing Tigers coming in town. And with 5 games left in the homestand, if you go 3-2 or 4-1, me and you were on the air Monday talking to Denny about the first place over 500 Royals, and it's May 13th or whatever. Like, that's a real conversation to have. So the fact that they've pulled themselves out of the tailspin to this point is a real win. The fact they can be at first place in over 500 before the calendar flips to June could be a massive win for this team.
Yeah, 100%. And then someone on the text line sends this in, and I'm not mad at this stance. Guys, until the Royals can improve with runners in scoring position, I'm not jumping back in. They did this last year when they had their first losing streak. They got a little hot and they fell on their face, and they went from like 2.5 games out of the division to being eliminated from the playoffs. I think that's fair. It's also important to note, I mean, last year there was a team that won 88 games. There also was a team that won 87 games in their division. Do you feel like their division is going to be as difficult this year as it was last year? I mean, last year the American League was just significantly stronger. Now, that could end up being the case. It's pretty early on in the year. But taking a look last year, I mean, there were 2 teams that won 90-plus games in the American League East. There was a team that won 89 games. 88 games won the American League Central. Detroit won 87 games. Seattle was red hot last year. They won 90 games. Houston won 87 games. Maybe a better way to ask the question is this. Which of the teams in the American League Central do you think is best equipped to win 87 games this year? Which of the teams do you think is best equipped to do that? Because 87 probably gets you the lead. I don't know if you can argue Detroit is better equipped to win 87 games right now than the Royals, not with their pitching issues. I don't know if the Guardians are that much better than the Kansas City Royals. Like, I think for everything that you could like one of these other teams, I also think you can like the Royals for the exact same thing. Now, you got to prove it on the field, and let's see if the Royals can win this series against Cleveland. Let's see how they perform this weekend. But, you know, if you're looking at this like a boxing match, the Royals lost the early rounds. They took a knockout in the early rounds. They're still down on the cards, but it's the 4th round of the fight. You got a long way to go that you can make up the early knockouts by just putting rounds together. You got a chance to lay a pretty significant blow to Cleveland if you can just win one of these next 2 games. You don't got to win both of them. It'd be great if you did. If you can just win one of these next 2 games against Cleveland, you take 3 out of 4 at home against the Guardians, and you can win this series this weekend against Detroit, and you did exactly what you were supposed to do. I think the Royals have the ability to do that. Let me ask you this, Rob. This is another side note question about the World Cup. Maybe this is me looking at it a little bit pessimistic, and this is me just looking at it through the text line. Do you think there's a group of Kansas Cityans that want the World Cup to fail so they can say, I told you so?
Yes, but I think that's all things in life. There's always a group that's cheering against it. I'm betting if we've rewound the clock to whenever and we said, do you think there's a group of Kansas Cityans who want the airport to stink forever to say I told you so? The answer is yes. Today's the 10-year anniversary of Streetcar. I guarantee 10 years ago, people were like, this is going to fail, and they wanted it to fail so they could say I told you so. So I think the answer to your question is yes. I think there's a group of Kansas Cityans who wanted to fail to say I told you so, but there's always that group that wants to tell you I told you so about change.
Yeah, but I guess, and maybe you're right, it hasn't happened yet, so you can't really ask this question before it actually gets here. But, like, I feel like the Streetcar very early on, people's tone kind of changed, and they were, hey, we like this idea. We just need the Streetcar to go further. I think people, if you were opposed to the old airport or the new airport, all you had to do was go to the new airport and you were quickly, oh, this is cool. Do we think that's how people are going to respond when the World Cup gets here? Because I think there's going to be a group of people that just strongly dislike that it's here. It has inconvenienced them. I can't go to it. All of these people are in the way. I don't want the World Cup.
That's probably the difference. But I guess, let's say the World Cup goes off as a success in Kansas City. Do you think the fact that in that world, Kansas City will have economically and, perception-wise massively improved quiet those people the same way the new airport's success quieted those people? Or is it just the people are so anti it that there's no turning them at all?
Yeah, this is just me doing some reading, and I don't know. We have to see it get here. I believe the only people that are going to be unhappy by the World Cup are the people that thought they had a chance to get rich off the World Cup. There's a lot of people who thought they were going to Airbnb their house and I was going to pay for their down payment on their new house, or was going to pay off their house, or the business owner that thought that their business was failing and now the World Cup was going to come and it was going to save their business. I think those are the people that are going to be most upset. I think a majority of us, and I think I'm in this group, not a big soccer fan. Seems like a cool moment. I'll try to go to a game. People will be excited. It'll be some fun stories to tell. It'll be gone, and we'll go on with the rest of our lives. I do think there's a lot of those kind of people. But you've heard it at almost every turn. Hey, we're not going to be ready. Oh, look at this thing. Oh, look at this thing. I do think there have been like an odd number of World Cup detractors over the last year or so. That's a very odd for an event that didn't really have to pick Kansas City. Kansas City is not like Los Angeles or New York, some of the cities. So the fact the World Cup is coming to Kansas City, I'm excited about it, whether I'm a soccer fan or not. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll talk about the Royals, who are hot, hot, hot. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Things have settled down a little bit through downtown. I see more yellow than I do red now. Olathe, those stalls are still causing a little bit of a problem. 35 northbound past 151st, right lane blocked. And then 35, you've got southbound at 169 highway, right lane blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
FanDuel is giving you even better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. And with more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From point spreads to player points to threes and so much more, you can build it all into one simple same-game parlay and go for an even bigger payout. So if you're betting a same-game parlay this NBA postseason, you can bet them with America's #1 sportsbook app with our friends over at FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check every stat, trend, and matchup all in one place. You can make your picks with confidence. Everything you need in just one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel right now, America's #1 sportsbook app and official partner of the NBA, and play your game. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Brought to you by RPM Revival this weekend at Flying H Drag Strip. More at racerpmrevival.com. RPM Revival at Flying H Drag Strip this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, presented by Monster Energy. The fastest street cars in the country throwing down, including Kids Power Wheels Racing, Burnout Contest, and Car Show. Pre-sale tickets just $20. Kids 12 and under free. More at racerpmrevival.com.
Baseball is back, and BetMGM, official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boosts, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boosts. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB Odds Boost tokens and MLB Parlay Boost tokens all season long. More boosts, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. Promotional offers may vary by market, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi?
And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Tonight, expect a low of 42 with partly cloudy skies.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
Replacing your HVAC doesn't have to be an emergency. Plan now, pay less later. For a limited time, take advantage of an HVAC replacement with financing starting as low as $149 a month. More options, better timing, and less stress for your home.
If your engine takes longer to start in the morning than you do, don't worry. Just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Look out for Max Minute on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
I do want to finish our conversation we were having right before the break about the World Cup. Appreciate you guys listening. Congratulations getting through your 9 to 5. So I asked the question, are there a group of people that want the World Cup to fail so they can say, I told you so? We got a couple of texts. C-Dot. Yes, people always hate on things that are overrated, and I'm 100% one of those people. I hate overhypers. I've been to the new airport, and hold on, let me see if I can find it. Basically, the new airport ain't that special. This is what I think New Kauffman Stadium's going to be like. That's probably the best way to summarize it. Somebody else said, C-Dot, you're 100% right. I hate soccer. I don't want the World Cup here, and I could care less if it's successful or not. I don't want the hassle. Somebody else texted in the show. Shout out to our dear friend Nick Price. Does fantastic. He owns Jefferson. Shout out to him. He said this. He said, Rob, I am a little bit nervous about the World Cup, a little bit anxious. A major reason why is we have been told how much of a big economic boom it is going to be. So if that's not how it is, it could have an adverse effect on us. But obviously, I am holding out hope that it can be a success. I do think that is a major part of the World Cup story, is for basically 18 months, maybe a year and a half. Ever since Kansas City won the World Cup, we have been told pretty nonstop how incredible this is going to be for everybody. Now that we're here 6 weeks into the World Cup, I think a lot of people are starting to ask more questions, and the numbers are just not really adding up, in my opinion. We talked about it. The flights are not adding up. The hotels are not adding up. I don't think it's going to be the massive windfall that everybody expected it to be. I don't think it's going to be a madhouse. How people talked about it basically all of 2025 is that our city was just going to be overrun with tourists for a 6-7 week period, and we all needed to prepare for it. That every restaurant was going to do well, every hotel was going to do well, you could Airbnb your house, and it was going to be this massive win for everybody. I just don't think that's going to be the case anymore. And I'm not saying that from a negative standpoint. I've always said I think it's going to be a great event. I think it's going to be a fun event. But we are starting to learn more and more about this thing. I just think it's somewhat of a scam. I was reading a story earlier today, and it was from the head of FIFA. I don't know if I've honestly ever read a story from the head of FIFA. And he said, basically, Americans spend this much to go to regular football games and college games. This is the World Cup. I can read you their exact quote, but that is basically what he said. He said that Americans are used to spending this amount of money to go to sporting events that we really want to go to, which I can't really argue and tell him that he's wrong. This is the World Cup, so yeah, of course. Ever since then, they have been taking a bath. They've had to make a 30% cut on the resale market because for the most part, they priced a lot of people out of this. We don't love soccer the way that they think we love soccer. There's a pocket of people that love soccer, yeah. But I think there's a lot of people that are like me. I would go to this. I then looked to see how much it costs, and I said, I'll watch it on television. I'm fine. I don't want to go that bad. It's not that once in a lifetime, I gotta be there kind of event for me. I think there's a lot of Americans that feel that way. Sure, I would have went, but it's $100 and something to park your car. It's $500 to sit lower level. I don't want to go that bad to the World Cup. I'm not that big of a fan of soccer to spend all this money to participate in it.
I want the record to show that I think FIFA is a totally corrupt organization. I don't like their leader at all.
Crooks is what they are. They're crooks.
Gianni Infantino, not a fan. Just put that on the record. When he comes out and says that, it's the most tone-deaf FIFA thing ever. Hey, you guys already spend this, so suck it. It's basically what he said. It's just extremely tone-deaf. And the fact that he's not only defending what is probably price gouging by FIFA on these tickets is just really gross. And for a guy whose job it is to grow soccer and make it a bigger deal, the fact that you're pricing games in Kansas City to see Lionel Messi at $1,200 it's nonsensical. Carrington, you and I go to a lot of sporting events in Kansas City. Have you ever spent $1,200 for any event? So he's wrong, and he's unabashed about screw it. You guys are going to pay for it. It's FIFA in a nutshell, and it's so tone deaf by them.
I mean, this is the story. The director of FIFA was adamant that the steep increase in face value tickets were justified. Quote, we have to look at the market. We are in the market in which entertainment is the most developed in the world, so we have to apply to their market rates. In the United States, it is permitted to resell tickets as well. So if you were going to sell tickets at a price in which it is too low, these tickets will be sold at a much higher price. This is a separate argument that I think you are seeing is these people are tired of the scalpers making all the money. That's what's happened. This same thing has happened in shoes. If you buy shoes, you have seen it. Hey, that same Jordan that used to be $140 are now charging $250. That's what you used to charge when your shoes sold out. Nike got tired of StockX making the money. Now they want to be the one to make the money. That's basically what he said. Hey, we could charge a regular price for this. We could charge $60, $100, but we know that everybody would buy those tickets up and then immediately go on StubHub, immediately go on SeatGeek and flip this. They would make more money than we would make, and we can't have that. So we're just gonna be the scalpers of the ticket. He then goes on to say, quote, you cannot go in the U.S. and watch a college game, not even speaking about a top professional game of a certain level, for less than $300. You have to remember, this is the World Cup. I know you guys laugh and joke about me going to a lot of Kansas basketball games, and I do go to one, maybe two a year, and I have bought tickets. I'm telling you that I've had good seats at a KU basketball game. I ain't never come close to spending some of these prices to go to a KU basketball game. I've never spent more than $50 to go to a KU basketball game. In fact, I go to the ones to guarantee I don't have to spend that amount. But you can get into even a good Kansas game for $100, $125. I mean, they could be playing North Carolina. They could be playing Duke. You can still get in for $125. You are not getting into the World Cup at Arrowhead that seats 80,000 people for less than $150. And that was, you got to go to the game nobody wants to go to. Rob, you and I were looking at the game for the Netherlands. It was $400 to get in. I would want to go to the Netherlands game. I'm not paying that for a soccer game. I don't even know who's playing.
I also
think I couldn't buy the Netherlands on a map. I got to spend $400. I could probably buy a plane ticket to the Netherlands for cheaper than going to watch them play soccer here 15 minutes from the crib.
The best analogy I can have about how bad the pricing has gone is, think of the World Cup like the NCAA tournament. Hey, everyone is here in St. Louis. Use the Missouri pod. Miami, Florida gets some tickets. St. Louis gets some tickets. Purdue gets some tickets. I forgot who the 15 seed was. Who cares? They get some tickets. The rest of the tickets are bought up by third-party people and people in town. The World Cup does it that way too, except for the third-party tickets are the Banana Land one. We're seeing Austria versus Algeria, me and you. And to take me and my wife, I spent $300 to see two mid to bottom level teams in the World Cup. Just say I went like that. That it shouldn't be how it goes. You've been to the NCAA tournament. Hey, I'm not gonna be able to get in to see Purdue because that ticket's too hot, but I'll wait and I'll get to see Pod 2 or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
That's FIFA was supposed to price it like that. Instead, they priced it like it's the Super Bowl every night.
Someone on the text line says, serious question, do you guys have to pay for sports tickets? I promise you, yeah. I mean, sometimes. I'm not going to make it seem like I ought to pay for every single time, but...
Yes and no. Like, there's some things we get into for
I don't
free.
just have season tickets to every sporting event in Kansas City. I promise you I don't. I wish I did. I wish I did.
You have that gold card that old MLB players get where you get in any game?
I promise
I'm C-Dot.
you.
Let me in.
I promise. It's not like I can just call the Chiefs and be like, you know what, man? For that AFC championship game, you know what? Just give me 4 on the 50-yard line. That's what I need. That's what I need. Someone said, where did you get $150 tickets? I mean, I bought my tickets from FIFA. Again, I don't even know what game I'm going to. Every time Rob tells me the game that I bought tickets for. What game am I going to?
You are seeing Austria against Algeria.
I don't know nothing about them two. I can't tell you nothing about it.
It's the Saturday. You got a Saturday game.
You told me the tickets were $140. I just gave you the money and just, okay, fine. I don't know anything about it.
We're also in the Jordan Love seats, just for what it's worth.
Oh, I'm telling you, we up near the lights. We sit next to Lamar. I'm not even making we're not sitting next to Clark. We're sitting next to Lamar for this thing. We in the heavens.
I joked with Logan when you're gone. I could reach back and touch our press row seat behind the glass. That's bad, where we're at.
They had us up there. 104. I'm gonna be there though. I'm excited. But yeah, no, believe me, people in my life think that too. Oh no, you think I just have tickets readily available? I can just give you for Sunday Night Football. I don't know what you think this works. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 games. Usually I'm using those. I'm not just. You think I'm ticket guy now? You think I'm the ticket master? I don't know why you think this. I don't know why you think. Someone says, don't make it out like you don't have a free buffet of tickets every year. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not paying to go to a Royals Guardians game in June. I mean, that's not doing that. But some events, yeah, no, I have to pay too. They also charge me to go. Now, I mean, I might get to buy my tickets before you guys get to buy your tickets, but yeah.
Good rule of thumb, the better the event, the more likely we are to pay.
I'll never forget, I had a chance to get like Taylor Swift tickets like really early on in the process, and I was like, no one will pay that to go see Taylor Swift. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. I'll never forget that. They offered me club tickets. They were like $150 a piece. I was like, people pay that much to go see Taylor Swift? Had no clue.
I forgot that happened. You came back.
Yeah, no,
you came back. Hey, so I got the phone, and they're doing this for Taylor Swift. I don't think anyone's gonna want these.
I'm telling you, no, I'm not. That's not even a joke. The Chiefs offered me 8 club tickets for Taylor Swift for $150 a piece, and I just was like, people would spend that much for Taylor Swift? You're crazy. And no, it was a terrible decision. That's what it was. It was an awful decision that I made. All right, Rob.
Your workday is over.
Oh yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with C-Dot and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Tickets would have been my nest egg. Would have been my retirement fund.
Did you look back at what the section was going for? Or you're like, I can't even look.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
You would have had Lionel Messi tickets for the World Cup if you had just sold one of them.
I could have put a down payment on a house. That's what I could have done with how much money those tickets eventually ended up being worth.
Not just a house. You'd have been in Mission Hills living large.
I'd have lived next to Taylor. She'd have been my neighbor. Hey! I'd have waved at her. That's how I'd have been. I'd have been next door neighbors with Patrick. We'd have been hanging out. All right, let's talk about Patrick here. Serious note. All right, let's talk about Patrick. The television show is cooking up. I feel like I'm the only one that sees this, what the media is doing with Patrick Mahomes. Stop looking at it like a sport and just start looking at it for what it is. It is a television show with characters and storylines and an arc. The Patrick Mahomes storyline, it's right in front of you. Face of the league, worst season, got hurt, trying to turn things around and get back to their winning ways. I mean, you've seen this movie a million times. But you got to factor in it's the injury. So, I mean, every great story needs a cliffhanger. They are building up the first part of the story. Hey, Patrick's ahead of schedule. Will he participate in OTAs? Here's Ian Rappaport.
I wouldn't be surprised based on the words of Andy Reid if he's out there, right? It's ACL, it's LCL. The Chiefs have an excellent medical and training staff, so they're going to make sure that if he is on the field, he is out of harm's way and he's okay. The thing I would say is, rehab sucks. Players hate it and it's miserable. And to allow him to be on the field is a little bit of a reward for the work he's done. Now, he has been working, like surgery immediately, in the next day for 7 hours. Like, he has been working. So this feels to me like the team is like, you know what? You have earned the right to be on the field for OTAs. What I would say is this does not necessarily mean that he's going to be on the field when the season starts. That is all very different. And that's really more like medical and training, like milestones where he hits them. If he is not on the field, I think this team will be okay. And obviously trading for Justin Fields, they've prepared for this. But either way, on the field in September or whether he's on the field in October, he's still not going to be 100,000% like he was. So they're still going to have to run the ball and protect him for a little bit this season.
This is a great storyline. It really is. It's a great storyline. Face of the league, coming back from injury, first time his team doesn't make the playoffs. Is he going to be available? It gives them a storyline to talk about for the next 4 months. I tell you guys this every year, and we're back. There usually isn't a lot of NFL news at this part. We're past the draft, and I would say, at least looking at the Chiefs right now, is there anybody that the Chiefs are planning on paying? Like, usually in the offseason, we have a, do you want them to pay X, Y, and Z? No one's having a, do you want them to pay Rashee Rice conversation? No, I mean, brother, it's what happened here. You were just accused of hitting your baby mama 3 months ago. No, we're not paying you any money. Go play. So what's the only interesting storylines about the Chiefs from the national perspective are, can they bounce back and make the postseason? Is Patrick going to be there for week 1? So Ian Rappaport says that, while Adam Schefter says the exact opposite.
There was a doctor, a team doctor, that texted me when he was watching Mahomes through the video. He was like, watch the way that he puts his foot down. It's not all there yet, but I wouldn't expect it to be all there yet. And he's not playing now. He's playing in 5+ months. To me, when I see that, the doctors may say he's not ready. I say to myself, give this guy 5 more months, and he's going to be there on opening day. That's what I expect. This is a guy, when he dislocated his kneecap, is playing the next week, right? So 5 more months to come back after this type of surgery, as significant as that knee injury was, he's coming back from it. I think he'll be back. And Andy Reid, I think, got his knee worked on. He's moving around well. Patrick Mahomes got his knee worked. Everybody in Kansas City, like if you're in Kansas, you get your knee fixed this offseason, and you're getting ready for the opener, which won't be in Seattle.
I mean, this is how it goes. You guys remember a couple off seasons when we had the real cool storyline where Lamar Jackson was unhappy with his team and then asked to be traded, and then 2 weeks later he got a contract from that same team. I mean, you can just, the NFL, it's very predictable. It's like WWE. It's predictable. You can usually tell when somebody's going to come out and then hit the champion with the bell, and you can kind of see it. You see the storyline coming from a mile away. I believe that Patrick Mahomes is going to participate in training camp. I also believe that he is going to play in the first game of the NFL season. We are 12 days about. I mean, everybody thinks the schedule is coming out on May 18th. That's kind of what the hot internet rumor is. So we'll find out the schedule in less than 2 weeks, and the schedule will tell us how the league feels about Kansas City and when they think Patrick Mahomes is going to be back. One more Chiefs thing before we finish things out with the Royals. We're off a little bit early today because of the 6:40 start. We had Adam Kaufman on the show. He covers the New England Patriots. He said that he doesn't have any problems with Stephon Diggs and thinks that he'd be a good pickup.
And there was the preseason situation with that pink substance on the boat. And then there's the in-season with obviously everything that happened with his personal chef that, as we know, he was just on trial for and found not guilty. And then the breakup with Cardi B that seemingly happened at the Super Bowl. You know, there were definitely some things that happened off the field. But what I would say is, as far as anybody knew, none of it was a distraction in the locker room or on the field. The guy was, again, a good soldier. And I think part of the Stephon Diggs story, the narrative of his career, is you think back to, you know, year one in Houston, year one in Buffalo, first couple of years in Minnesota. There were never issues with Stephon Diggs at the beginning. Over the course of time is when he kind of starts to wear out his welcome a little bit. So if you're talking about new team, new situation, you know, 1 year, couple of years, but the first year in particular, which is what you highlighted, I don't worry about it at all.
Rob, let me ask you this. What is the balance in the productivity of the player versus the fit with the player? Because I don't really know if you want a wide receiver room with Stephon Diggs and Rashee Rice. I don't know if that's the kind of team you're trying to build. But I would say, of all the possible free agents, I think you could argue that Stephon Diggs has the greatest impact for the Chiefs. Maybe you could argue Cam Jordan, and you know that's what side I'm on. I'm on side go get Cam Jordan. But if everybody right now who is not currently on an NFL team, I think you could make the argument that Stephon Diggs would have the greatest impact of any of those players. I don't doubt on whether or not he can play, be healthy, and be productive. The question is, do you want that guy on your team, which I would completely understand if the answer for that is no with Stephon Diggs.
Hearing that from Adam Kaufman, I'm way more interested now in Stephon Diggs. If the money's right and he understands, you're one and done. Because you know what Stephon Diggs has been? A problem in year 2 and beyond everywhere. He didn't get along with Case Keenum. That's fine. No one gets along with Case Keenum. He's not a good quarterback. He didn't get along with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a very good quarterback. Josh Allen's probably the second best quarterback in the NFL. And you could argue maybe the best when Patrick Mahomes was hurt. Didn't get along with him. Okay, head to Houston. One and done, eject. Okay, head to New England. One and done, eject. If Stephon Diggs wanted to take an incentive 1-year deal, I am interested in him. But there is too much history of him imploding in the locker room in year 2 and 3 for me to open my arms and say, come on to Kansas City, buddy.
I mean, I think he is kind of in that Sammy Watkins mold and build. You know, I think if you got Stephon Diggs, he obviously wouldn't be your number 1. But if he's your number 2, number 3 option, I think you've done all right if that ends up being the case. All right, Rob, let's end on this note with the Royals. Every team in the American League Central has either 16, 17, or 18 wins. Every team, all 5 of them. There is not a current team in the American League Central right now that is over 500. There's not a team in the American League Central that is at 500 right now. All of them under 500. There's only one team projected with a winning record. I'm here to tell you, none of that matters. If the Royals win today and Detroit loses, the Royals will be in first place in their division with a chance to sweep Cleveland tomorrow and with a chance to win a series this weekend against the Detroit Tigers. That losing streak that the Royals have, I mean, they have almost completely erased it away. I mean, the Royals were 5-5 when their swoon really started. They're at 17-19 right now. They are 3-4 days away from possibly being at 500 and also being in first place in their division. I'll catch you guys tomorrow after the Royals game. Take care of yourself.